Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you the new video. Today is Friday, May 23rd, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Houston Astros. First pitch is going to be here in a couple minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb, on the left is big dumper Cal Raleigh. And on the right, it is the shortstop stud, Jeremy Pena. Now let's go into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing Jorge Polanco. Welcome back to the lineup, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Mariners, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Leody Taveras. Batting eighth, playing second base, Miles Mastroboni. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 1-2 record, ERA of 6.21, Emerson Hancock. And for the Houston Astros, leading off at shortstop, Jeremy Pena. Batting second, Isaac Paredes. Batting third, left fielder, Jose Altuve. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching for the Astros, Yanier Diaz. Batting fifth, playing first base, Christian Walker. Batting sixth, DHing for the Astros, Victor Caratini. Batting seventh, playing center field, Jake Myers. Batting eighth, playing right field, Cam Smith. And batting ninth, playing second base, Mauricio Dubon. And on the mound for the Astros with a 3-2 record, ERA of 4.65 is Ryan Gusto. Let's go Mariners. Can't get any worse than what we saw yesterday. And typically we don't get blown out that often, and we don't usually get blown out back-to-back games. So today should be much better here for the Mariners. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, takes the strike looking right down the pipe, 0-1 count. Come on, J.P., we need a strong outing, and he's definitely overdue for a homer. Let's go, J.P., let's go, Crawdaddy. We need you, baby. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off, high and away. Behind in the count now, 0-2 to J.P. Crawford. Ryan Gusto on the mound, 3-2 record, ERA of 4.65. So nothing really to get too scared about or alarmed of. But again, the bats have to come alive. We have to score 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And pitching has to be a hell of a lot better than it was yesterday. It was absolutely dreadful. Gusto on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. 0-2 pitch, fouled off again, same location with the four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Gusto. Crawford behind in the count, 0-2. 0-2 pitch, and J.P. Crawford strikes out looking, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, DHing Jorge Polanco. Another individual that is overdue for a homer. Let's go Polo. And we'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's go, Polo. We need a fast start. Trident's up. First pitch to Jorge Polanco, high and away with a four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And it's great to be able to see Julio back in the lineup. He missed yesterday's game with some back tightness in BP in batting practice. And then Brian Wu ended up getting hit in the leg on a foul ball in the 8th inning and kind of a freakish play. But he should be still starting tomorrow. But initially seeing Wu and Rodriguez on the injury report this morning definitely scared me. 1-0 pitch, fouls that one off low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gusto to Polo. STL in the building, what's good? Appreciate that. The help, any kind of help we can get, obviously with the likes and the donos would be greatly appreciated. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking there on the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gusto to Polo. Come on, Jorge. You started off very, very fast, and you've definitely hit kind of a cool-off point, but that doesn't mean that you can heat back up again. We know you can. 1-2 pitch. 4-seam fastball high and away. 5 feet off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gusto to Polo. Top of the first inning with 1 out, 0-0, Mariners and Astros. And again, if we have any chance of, winning 3 games out of 4, obviously we have to win with Emerson Hancock on the mound, but, hopefully he'll give up 3 runs or less. We should have a chance. But if he gives up more than 5 runs, we'll probably drop the L on this game. And then we got Brian Wu and Luis Castillo in games 3 and 4. So, kind of going in, it felt like maybe we would split this series 2-2. But depending on what happens tonight, that could change. Pitch is fouled off right down the zone. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Gusto. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. 2-2 pitch. Low and inside at the knees with a curveball, 81 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Gusto on the mound. Polo in the box. Work that count, and let's find a way to get you to first. Let's go, Polo. We need that bat to come alive. Let's go. And Polo strikes out swinging. Brutal. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners in center field. Welcome back to the lineup. We could have really used your defense and your bat yesterday. Julio Rodriguez. And Julio's going to have a good series in these remaining 3 games if we have any chance of splitting or trying to win 3 in a row, which will be very difficult against this team, the Houston Astros. 26-24, 16-9 at home, second in the AL West, and the Seattle Mariners still in first. 28-21, 15-10 record on the road. In play, and Polo, no. Julio pops out to first, and that is the end of the Seattle Mariners in the top of the first inning. Work the count a little bit, Julio. We need you. Now here in the bottom of the first inning, on the mound with a 1-2 record, ERA of 6.21. Started off the year giving up 6 runs in his first start, getting sent down to AAA. His ERA was 81. So for it to be at 6.21 with only 3 starts, with a 1-2 record, I would say that's pretty good. Still has a long ways to go. We would love for him to get into the 4s in the ERA. Obviously, in the high 3s would be ideal, but he is our worst pitcher on the staff, so hopefully he can ball, and we'll see what we get out of Emerson Hancock this afternoon/evening. Leading off for the Astros at shortstop, Jeremy Pena. Batting second, third baseman, Isaac Paredes. And batting third, left fielder, Jose Altuve. 2 home runs yesterday, brutalizing the Mariners. We can't have that happen here today. Let's go, M's. Trident's up. Appreciate you. Go Tigers. Good luck with the Ducks in the college baseball tourney. Appreciate you. That would be awesome if we could play you in Omaha. I agree. $5 holla. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. We're at 5.95 to go on the Dono train. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour. So that way we can, hit that algorithm and hit 50 to 60 overall, which we have been able to do now for pretty much almost every day for the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. Anything you want to see specifically? You got an LSU player in mind or a coach in mind that you want me to showcase? STL, let me know. We're in the bottom of the first inning, still knotted up here at 0. And leading off here is Jeremy Pena. And I obviously had to give him some love on the thumb with Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Both of these guys should have good games here today. First pitch from Emerson Hancock to Jeremy Pena, fouled off in the zone. Sinker, 95 miles an hour to Pena. 0-1 count. Let's go, Emerson. We need a solid outing. You are our worst pitcher on the staff right now. So, we just got George Kirby back yesterday, but he didn't look good. He got roughed up quite a bit. And then Logan Gilbert should be back here in a few days. 0-1 pitch. High and outside with that sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Pena. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Emerson Hancock to Jeremy Pena. Come on, Emerson. We need a solid outing. Got to give up 3 runs or less to give us a chance here today. Maybe 4 at the most. But again, we have to score 5+ if we have any chance against the Astros here today. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and away. Gets Pena to bite. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Pena. Come on, Emerson. And I don't expect a bunch of punch outs out of Emerson Hancock, but if he can get to 5, that could be enough for us to be able to get the dub. 5 or 6 Ks. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's just about getting a lot of cheap ground outs, pop-ups, gets 5 to 6 Ks, hopefully lasts at least 5 to 6 innings. And then, depending on who we bring in the pen, we'll see what happens. And obviously we probably had the worst pitching performance of the year yesterday, including George Kirby and all the guys they brought in the pen after. Jesse Hahn, terrible. Bizzardo, terrible. But again, you don't get smacked around that often, but it doesn't feel good, losing 9-2. 3-2 pitch. And takes a strike looking in the zone. Pena, see ya. Nice punch out there from Emerson Hancock right out of the gates. There's K number 1. Let's go, baby. I wasn't expecting Pena to go down with strikes, but we'll take it. Nice job, Emerson. Way to be. Next up in the 2-hole, third baseman, Isaac Paredes. First pitch low and away with a slider, 84 miles an hour to Paredes. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Sinker, 95 miles an hour by Hancock. 2 balls and no strikes to Isaac Paredes. I got you. Once we end up getting into a commercial break, I'll try to pull that up for you as soon as possible. I appreciate you and all the support to the channel. Bottom of the first inning, we're knotted up at 0. Mariners and Astros. 2-0 pitch in play. And Julio Rodriguez is there, flied out to right with Julio and you know who, Leody Taveras. I see you, no fly zone. 2 away. Nice job, Leody. Next up, left fielder Jose Altuve, and he was busy yesterday. 2 homers for Jose Altuve, and again, the best player on the team is Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena. You just got to limit the damage to those 2 guys and let the role players beat you, so to speak. First pitch inside, takes a strike looking. Should have been called ball, but called strike. 0-1 count from Hancock to Altuve. And even at this stage of Altuve's career, still a dangerous player. 0-1 pitch, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Altuve. Come on, Emerson. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Altuve, and this would be a big punch out, considering Jose was money yesterday with those 2 homers and those 2 jacks really propelled them to victory. If Emerson can find a way to get 2 Ks in the first inning, that would set him up pacing for 10-12, but we'll see what we get here. In play on the 1-2 pitch, and of course, Jose Altuve gets a single to right. He says, I ain't getting struck out by Emerson. Not today, or at least not at that first at-bat. Nice base knock by Jose into right. Next up, catcher, Yanier Diaz. Come on, Emerson. Let's go, baby. See if we can get a punch out on Diaz here. First pitch is low and away to Diaz. 1-0 count from Emerson Hancock here in the bottom of the first with a runner at first and 2 outs. Got to find a way to get this done. Let's go, baby. Pitch is low and away. 2-0 count from Hancock to Diaz. I'm trying to farm some photos here for you. For Derek. Freshman stud. And there we go, JP with the out on Diaz, and we get out of the inning. Thankfully, the Astros don't score early on. End of the first inning, we're knotted up here at 0. Let's see what kind of photos. I tried the first 3, and they got rejected, but then I was able to get a few here for you. Freshman stud Derek Curiel from LSU. Appreciate you. This one didn't fit the screen, but at least it's a photo that was able to transfer over. Same thing with this one. Seems like someone I need to keep my eye on for sure. Let's see if I can find you another one that fits the screen fully. No guarantees, though. Let's see. Anything else going to format for me here? I got one more to go, and looks like we can maybe get one more. We'll see if this one formats for you. End of the first inning, we're knotted up at 0. There we go. At least I got 2 that fit the screen fully, and then the other 2 for you. Appreciate you very, very much. We're at 5, 95 to go on the Dono train. Next up for the Mariners, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We need a big game here today. Batting second on deck, left fielder in the 5-hole, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, first baseman in the 6-hole, Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Cal. And again, on the mound with a 3-2 record, ERA of 4.65 coming into the matchup, Ryan Gusto. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. You can do it, baby. Let's go, big dumper. First pitch inside with the curve. 1-0 count from Gusto to Raleigh. Let's go, baby. One 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and in the zone with a cutter. 89 miles an hour by Gusto. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch. High and away. Smashed foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Pacing for 55 home runs, 100 runs scored, and over 120 ribbies. Now, we don't really know if the pace is going to continue the whole season, but even if he gets to 40 homers, and 100 RBIs, that would be a pretty damn good year, considering what Cal has done up to this point in his career. The torpedo bat definitely is working, and hopefully it'll continue. And Cal strikes out swinging, 1 away. Gusto wheeling and dealing early here for the Stros. It's all right, Cal. I still love you. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. We're in the top of the second, 0-0 with 1 out and nobody on. Let's go, Randy. Shep in the building. What's good, brother? Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see the second part of that message when I messaged you when I was checking up on you. So I apologize. I didn't respond right away when you sent that. I didn't, for whatever reason, I just didn't see it. Maybe I ended up going to sleep and then it didn't light up for the notification until I was thinking about you and checking up on you. But congratulations on, the incoming twins with the Bebes coming through. I know you've gone through some ups and some downs. I'll always be here for you. Appreciate all the love and support that you've given to the channel over the years. And if you ever need anything, you know where I am. First pitch to Randy Arozarena inside with a four-seam fastball, 1-0 count. I saw that Ronald Acuna Jr. ended up making his debut here today, so great to see him back for your Braves lineup. Takes a strike looking, 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, and popped up and out into center field, 2 away. Lauren in the building, what's good? Not JT in the building, what's good? Down goes Randy Arozarena. Next up, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Rowdy. Bring that electricity, baby. We need to score early and often. Let's go, M's. Nice family photo. Looking good, Lauren. First pitch inside at the knees with the changeup, 1-0 count. I'm super excited and happy for you. Again, we are pretty close. Some of us on the channel are a little bit closer than others, with some of the mods and some of the regulars, that are on the channel. So, some stuff obviously is going to be private in our private lives, but, there are things that we share, that, are a little bit sensitive and whatnot. And again, I wish all the blessings and all, everything good in your life moving forward. You deserve it, my guy. In play, and down goes Rowdy Tellez. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get anything there with a slow dribbler to first, and a toe tap to first ends Rowdy Tellez. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next for the Astros. But if anyone deserves happiness, it's you, my guy. Next up, first baseman, Christian Walker. Batting second, DHing today in the 6 hole, Victor Caratini. And batting third, center fielder in the 7 hole, Jake Myers. Emerson Hancock on the mound, 1-2 record with an ERA of 6.21. But again, he gave up 6 runs in his first start of the year, then got sent down to AAA. His ERA was 81. 81, and he was able to get that ERA down all the way to 6. So he still's got a long way to go. He's not really good enough to be even in the high 3s, but if he can be somewhere, in the 4s, 4.50, 4.20, something like that, that would be probably the best that we could expect for a guy like Emerson Hancock until he gets a little bit more consistent, and then maybe he'll be able to get into the high 3s, like with a 3.99 or 3.90 ERA. That probably would be where he would max out, considering all the other guys that we got, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, and then obviously with Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans, who are essentially AAA pitchers, and you can't expect, every AAA pitcher to turn into the next Logan Gilbert or Brian Wu or George Kirby. But again, there is potential there, and so far so good for Emerson Hancock. Yeah, Emerson was a first rounder. So, again, you never know how that's going to work out. I mean, in basketball prospects, just because you're a first rounder or, second rounder, sometimes second rounders don't even fucking make the team after they're drafted. And we know in the NFL, you can get a lot of bargains and a lot of great players in rounds 4 through 7. But in baseball, it is kind of a crapshoot where you don't really know. I mean, you could end up getting a guy that's, drafted in, the late rounds and ends up being an all-star, or you could draft a guy in the first round and have him kind of bust and not really pan out, based on how good he was in college and whatnot. So, but at least we have Logan Evans and Bryce Miller with Emerson Hancock all battling for the last spot. And when Bryce is healthy, it's him. But we'll have to kind of wait and see if that back and elbow are healthy. First pitch to Walker, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count, 0-1 pitch, and grounds out to first. There we go, 1 away. Down goes Christian Walker. Emerson Hancock pitching well so far. Next up is Victor Caratini. First pitch from Hancock to Caratini, 5 feet off the plate with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Emerson, settle in, my guy. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking out of the zone. Should have been called ball, but called strike. Don't know what this ump is looking at. He might need LASIK. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Hancock on the mound, Caratini in the box. And again, it has to be better than what we saw yesterday. It was absolutely disastrous. We lost 9-2. The game was already over by the 5th inning. And I know some people, they can walk away from the TV. They can go run errands. They can turn it off, when the things look bad. But, when you do this full time, for a job, you have to be able to find the diamonds in the rough. And, being able to see effort late, definitely shows character in players. And I have to be able to find any, bright spot in a game, especially when we're getting blown out. Pitch fouled off, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Caratini. No worries, my guy. Appreciate you. Bottom of the second, 0-0, Mariners and Astros. 2-2 pitch in play, and Caratini grounds out to first. What a play by Rowdy Tellez with the glove. Right back to Hancock. Great glove work there by Rowdy. Impressive. For a big boy, you wouldn't expect him to have that kind of glove work. Nice job. That easily could have been a single, no doubt. Great defense by Rowdy. Next up is center fielder Jake Myers. First pitch from Hancock to Myers, inside at the hips with the sinker, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Myers. No kids for your boy. I do got a Paisley pup. Was able to, get her nails trimmed and dremeled and do a self-wash. She did get sick in the car on the way there, which is not ideal. But again, ended up, getting her some little pup ice creams from Petco after, getting her body washed and her nails trimmed, and got her a new big bacon bone. So she's doing much better than she was earlier this morning. Pitch fouled off, 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Hancock on the mound, Myers in the box. Shout out to all the dads in the room. It's not easy, to be able to give your all to someone other than yourself, and it really does show the type of people that you guys are, the sacrifices that are made. And, when you really truly love someone, even though, like, for me, I don't have any kids of my own, never did, and never been married. Maybe one day I'll, go down that path. But, at this point, Paisley Pup is my child. And, just to be able to give her everything in her life, I sacrifice everything in my life for her and obviously for you guys in this channel. And again, shout out to all the super dads in the room. Salute you guys. And Myers strikes out swinging. And we get out of the inning there. End of the second inning. We're knotted up at 0. Let's get here into the top of the third and see who's up for the Mariners. Let's get on the board, baby. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder, Leody Taveras. Batting second in the 8-hole, second baseman, Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. And batting third baseman, Ben Williamson. Let's go, Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour. We've been able to hit 40 to 60 pretty much every stream for, about a week and a half to 2 weeks. We've been getting about 1,000 views on every stream or higher on the last 6, 7, 8 streams in a row. So we're starting to hit a point, now with the Mariners playing well. And, I'm starting to get recognition as being the guy that does the Seattle Mariners. And again, the more wins the Mariners rack up, the more opportunities that we're going to have here on the channel for growth. That is big facts. All right, we're at 12. We need 8 more likes to get to 20. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 8 more to get to 20. The goal is 50 for the stream, and then obviously 100 in the donos. We're at 595 to go. End of the second inning, we're knotted up here at 0. Let's go, Mariners. Tridents up. Hopefully I'll be able to bust out the trident for a couple homers here today. And I don't even care how we win this game. Even if it ends up being ugly where it's 1-0 or 2-1, a win is a win. And after you get absolutely manhandled and smashed yesterday 9-2, it was probably the worst pitching performance top to bottom, from starter to, the mid relievers in the pen that I think I've seen all year. But luckily, we don't really get blown out. We've only been blown out a couple times in the first 50 games. And typically we don't get blown out in back-to-back games. So that's one good thing about the Mariners. First pitch to Leody Taveras. Back. See ya! There we go, Leody Taveras. He was the hero in game number 3 against the White Sox in the rubber match to win the series. Now he gets home run number 2 for the Seattle Mariners. Oh, baby, right fielder, Leody Taveras, 1-0 Mariners. I guess I have good timing. I said I want to be able to bust out the trident. 5 seconds later, here it is. There we go. The ESP is on point. Okay. I was thinking about later in the matchup, not 5 seconds later, but hell, I'll take that. Nice job by Leody. Let's go, baby. 1-0 Mariners. Next up, a guy that's been struggling as of late, Miles Mastrobuoni. First pitch from Gusto to Mastrobuoni, high and away, 1-0 count. Come on, Miles. Maybe drop the bunt down. Let's go. Find a way to get on base. And we were able to, get a run scored in the early innings. And again, nice to be able to, see us get a run in the first and a run in the second, but literally the Astros did everything, in the third inning and beyond. Nice job, Leody. We need that. He actually has been a good fit on this team, considering he was a 9-hole hitter for the Rangers and kind of a forgotten piece. He's not as good as Victor Robles, but he does a pretty good job filling in the gap for Victor while he's injured. 2-1 pitch, inside at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gusto to Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. I mean, you're like Mitch Garver and Donovan Solano. We don't really have a whole lot of confidence in those 3 players. So anything that we can get positive, walks, hit by pitch, whatever it may be. And here we go, 3-1 pitch and a walk, baby. And that's exactly what we need. Sometimes the best offense is just not swinging the bat whatsoever. Nice job, Miles, on drawing the walk. And maybe we'll be able to see him get a base knock like this later. Next up, one of my favorite players on the team, third baseman Ben Williamson. He plays great defense, came up from the Tacoma Rainiers. Again, he doesn't really hit homers often. He's more of a singles hitter. Started off very hot when we first brought him up and has cooled off a little bit, but I definitely think that he can get back on track. We're in the top of the third, 1-0 Seattle, with a Leody Taveras solo jack to right to give us the 1-0 lead. First pitch to Ben Williamson, fouls it off with a cutter, 89 miles an hour by Gusto, 0-1 count. Come on, Big Ben. Let's go B-Dubs. Best third baseman we've had since Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. 0-1 pitch, fouled off. Four-seam fastball, high and away. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Runner at first with no outs. Gusto on the mound, Williamson in the box. And this is a 4-game series, and we typically don't have a whole lot of those, throughout the year. And we already lost game 1, 9-2. We won 2 out of 3 in Seattle at the beginning of the year. But this one kind of feels like we're going to split probably 2-2, unless we win today. And we win, obviously, with Wu on the mound tomorrow and Luis Castillo on Sunday. But that's a big ask. Pitches low and away with that sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gusto to Williamson. Yeah, I was about to say, what was his final line? I saw that, the home run and whatnot, but what was his line? Is the game still going on? Or is the game over already? I know it was earlier. And damn it, Big Ben Williamson grounds out into the double play. And that's the last thing that you want, when you have a guy at first, but again, when you have second open, that's what you're trying to shoot for most of the time, to be able to get out of the inning. Tough one there for Big Ben. Next up for the Mariners now with 2 outs with that double play, unfortunately, by Ben Williamson. We'll be able to get a double play on the Mariner defensive side to match up and make up for that. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford, a guy that is so overdue for a homer. I can just taste it. Come on, J.P. I mean, he's not a home run hitter, but at this point, sitting at only like 4 homers, hopefully he can find a way. And there we go. JP in between the gap, a nice single to center. I'll take that. Nice job, JP. And if we just didn't have that goddamn double play by Ben, maybe we were up 2-0 at this point. Nice job, JP. I see you, baby. Keep that hot streak going. Next up, a guy that's cooled off since the beginning of the year, but has been batting 300 to 450 the whole season, DHing Jorge Polanco. And another guy that's due for a big hit or a homer as well. Let's go Polo. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Leody Taveras with his second homer of the season for the Seattle Mariners. Just did that a few minutes ago to give us the 1-0 lead. Nice job, Leody. Sometimes it's the most unexpected players that end up being the hero. 2 for 3. Nice, dude. I'm happy for you. And again, the Braves and the Mariners are the 2 top teams with injuries, in 2025. So obviously we were able to get off to a better start than the Braves did, but Jurix and Profar getting busted for PEDs and then getting suspended, not having Acuna, having other injuries with Strider and others. Like it definitely was not ideal for the Braves and their fan base like Shep. But, I know you guys can battle back. It's a long season, and hopefully we'll see the Braves making some moves at the trade deadline as well, and you can make your little push as we go to the playoffs. Top of the third, runner at first, JP with 2 outs. First pitch to Polo, low and at the knees with a curveball, 79 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a curveball from Gusto. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs, 1-0 Seattle lead. One pitch, curveball fouled off right down the middle. Just a little bit behind on that last pitch by Polo. Could have been something special. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runner at first and 2 outs. Gusto on the mound, Polo in the box. Come on, Polo. And Polo strikes out swinging. He definitely has cooled off, but hopefully the bat will heat up later in the matchup. Nice pitch there by Gusto. We're not haters here. Let's go over some of the stats here as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Let's take a look at Ryan as well as Emerson and see how they're doing up to this point. All right, Ryan Gusto, wheeling and dealing, 2.2 innings pitched. Now it's 3. So he just finished that inning. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 37 pitches, 25 strikes, and he's got his ERA down to 4.50. And record coming into the matchup was 3-2. So, above 500, but not something that is going to make us shake in our boots. And for Emerson Hancock, our worst starter on the staff, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 29 pitches, 16 strikes, and he's got his ERA down from 6.21 to 5.86. Hopefully he'll be able to get it down to in the high 4s, either by the end of this outing or maybe in the next start after this. Let's go Emerson. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the third with a 1-0 Seattle lead. Next up for the Astros in the 8-hole, right fielder Cam Smith. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. And batting third, back at the top of the order, leading off, shortstop stud Jeremy Pena. Let's go Mariners. Try dance up. All right, we're almost at 20. We need 2 more likes to get to 20. We're at 18. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 12 more to get to 30, 2 more to 20. Let's go. The goal for the stream will be 50. First pitch from Emerson Hancock to Cam Smith. Fouled off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off again, low and at the knees to Cam Smith. Behind in the count, 0-2 from Emerson Hancock. Come on, Emerson. DKJ in the building, what's good? Cole in the building, what's good? Bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Mariners. Hancock on the mound, Cam Smith in the box. Mariners got absolutely destroyed yesterday in the first matchup. Altuve with 2 homers. Kirby in his first start in 2025, extremely rusty. Brought in the worst guys in the pen with Bazardo and Jesse Hahn, and we absolutely got fucking crushed, 9-2. But I don't think we're going to lose like that the rest of the series. You know, we might end up losing another game, you know, in the series, but we won't lose that bad. Book it. Pitch fouled off again. 3 consecutive foul balls. Slider that time around. Still count is 0-2 from Hancock to Smith. 0-2 pitch. Low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. But if we can get one of the mods to help me out with the likes and the donos, I'd greatly appreciate it. Usually Captain handles that when he's here. But when he's not or comes in a little late, if someone can help me out with that, that would be greatly appreciative. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Seattle. Hancock on the mound, Smith in the box. 1-2 pitch in play. And Smith grounds out to 3rd, throw to 1st. There we go. 1 away. Next up is second baseman Mauricio Dubon. First pitch, high and away. Should have been called strike, but called ball. Four-seam fastball in the zone on the corner, but doesn't get the call from the ump. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch to Dubon. Fouls that one off, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Dubon. Come on, Emerson. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I mean, also, too, speaking of captain, there he is. But, you know, we do have a few guys like Harry Ford and, you know, Cole Young, you know, at some point that may be able to, you know, fill in the gaps for some of the positions that are a little weak. Dubon grounds out to the shortstop, 2 away. Like Harry Ford could be our backup catcher, you know, over Mitch Garver, and he's playing pretty well in AAA, so he might be one of the guys that we call up later this year, hopefully. And then you got Cole Young, a guy that can play shortstop or second base, you know, and that can help fill in the gaps. You know, obviously we know JP is our shortstop, but, you know, we definitely need help at second base as well. So there's you know, not very many positions that are open for debate. You know, obviously, you know, having a better player as a backup to Rowdy Tellez at first, like Tyler Locklear, sending him up would be great, you know, so we don't have to have Donovan Solano. Harry Ford instead of Mitch Garver for a backup to Cal, and then getting Cole Young in there instead of Mastroboni, and Pena gets hit by a pitch there on the 0-1 pitch, on the 0-1 count. And again, like, you know, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm not really sure why Leo Rivas is in the doghouse as he is, but I think he gives us a better chance to win than Mastroboni at second. But, you know, or we could at least have Dylan Moore there, but I guess they're trying to rotate certain guys that are, you know, utility guys that can play more than one position, like Mastroboni and Demo and whatnot. And, you know, there's always going to be an odd man out or a couple odd mans out. And it seems like Rivas is typically that guy. Captain in the building. What's good, my guy? Next up is Isak Paredes. $5 holla. If you can help me out with the likes and the donos, it'd be greatly appreciated. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack bang bang. Now we're at 10:90 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you, Captain. Yeah, I mean, hell, if we can have Shep and Captain help out, I mean, the more help, the better. Julio had a back strain, so that's why he was out. He got it in BP in batting practice before the game started. That's why they pulled him, but he's back in the lineup here today, so it was just minor. And then Brian Wu got hit by a foul ball in a freakish play in the 8th inning in his knee leg area, but it swelled up a little bit, but a little bruising. But Dan Wilson says he should be starting tomorrow. It should not affect his start tomorrow, because obviously seeing Wu and Julio on the injury report this morning, I'm like, holy hell, we have like the worst fucking luck. But luckily those were just kind of minor injuries, thank God. I mean, we've already been beat up with Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Ryan Bliss, Victor Robles, Luke Raley. It's like, can we pump the brakes with the injuries for a little bit? Like, can we actually get our team healthy for once? 1-1 pitch, low and away from Hancock to Paredes. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Paredes. 2-1 pitch, high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Paredes. Come on, baby. Let's go, Emerson. Bottom of the 3rd, runner at first with 2 outs. We just need a nice little slow dribbler right up the middle or a punch out for Emerson. Let's go. But luckily, Wu's okay, Julio's okay, and we should be getting Logan Gilbert back very, very soon, which is very exciting. And hopefully when he comes back, it won't be as bad as what we saw with George Kirby in his first start yesterday. Him, Bizzardo, and Jesse Hahn were absolutely horrendous. And again, Dan Wilson should have known the signs on when to pull a pitcher. And that's the difference between good managers and elite managers. Again, I know that our bullpen is shaky and you want to be able to stretch out the starter, but when they don't got the stuff and you're trying to make a guy pitch 5-6 innings when you should pull him in the 3rd or 4th, you get fucking brutalized. In play, back, see ya! And Isak Paredes with a 2-run jack. Jeremy Pena on board. And now with 1 swing, just like that, the Mariners are down 2-1. Brutal. Next up for the Astros, left fielder who had 2 homers yesterday, Jose Altuve. And again, the magic number for Emerson has got to be 3 runs. If he gives up 3 runs or less, we should still have a good chance to win. If he gives up 4 runs or more, it's going to be a battle. And now he's already given up half of that amount. 4 might be the max. And again, we cannot get down by any more than 5 runs at any given point in the game. Because that's kind of like the limit. And we already got blown out yesterday. This is our worst pitcher on the staff. So, homers are going to be something that's going to happen with him, Bryce Miller, Logan Evans. Hell, they're even going to happen with Castillo, Wu, Gilbert, and Kirby. You just hope that it's not often. And Altuve on the 2nd pitch in play, singles to left. And I'm not surprised. Altuve has been red hot this series. Public enemy number 1. I see you, Jose. Next up, 0 for 1 catcher Yanier Diaz. Let's get out of this inning. We're already down a run now. First pitch from Emerson Hancock to Diaz. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count now, 0-2 from Hancock to Diaz. This would be a good punch out if he goes low and away. He might be able to bait Diaz here. Bottom of the 3rd, 2-1 Astros. Solo jack by Leody Taveras. A few minutes back. And then Isak Paredes with a 2-run jack just a moment ago to retake the lead. And Diaz, exactly with the pitch that I was hoping for, low and away, and got him. There we go. When you watch enough of baseball like myself, you kind of have an idea on how they're going to strategize to get a hitter out. Nice job, Emerson. He gave up the 2-run jack, and that's fine, again, but hopefully that will be the only runs that he gives up, or maybe 1 more. We can't have him give up 5, 6, 7 runs because we're not going to be able to come back more than likely unless the bats heat up. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next for the Mariners. We need runs. We need hits. Let's go, M's. Trident's up. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting 2nd, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting 3rd, 0 for 1, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Mariners. Yeah, I mean, it should be a battle between the Falcons and the Bucks moving forward. You know, it seems like the Saints have finally hit a point where they're going backwards now. You know, and it wouldn't even shock me if the Panthers finish in third and the Saints finish in fourth. I mean, I know Saints fans are probably hoping that doesn't happen unless they just tank and they're trying to get, you know, some high draft picks in next year's draft. But it definitely is going to be a battle between the Falcons and the Bucks. You know, you guys need to, you know, slowly but surely keep improving that defense. You got a lot of great skill position players, but the Bucks are going to be the favored team in the NFC South. So don't be surprised at the end of the day if we win our 5th straight NFC South crown. But again, it would be cool to see the Falcons and the Bucks in the playoffs next year. I'm definitely rooting for Michael Penix Jr., you know, being here from the Pacific Northwest, playing for the Washington Huskies, even though they weren't able to win the Natty against Michigan. First pitch from Gusto to Julio, fouls that one off. High and away with that sweeper, 0-1 count. Gusto on the mound, Julio in the box. And not having Julio in the lineup definitely hurt us tremendously yesterday. Top of the 4th, 2-1 Astros. Come on, Julio. Trident's up. Come on, baby. Come on, Julio. 0-1 pitch. Connects on that one again. Fouls that one off. Behind in the count now 0-2 from Gusto to Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. We need you, baby. Pitches low and away with that cutter from Gusto. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. We need you, baby. You have to have a productive series in these next 3 games, or we're only going to win 1 game out of 4. Or maybe none. You know, got to win with Wu on the mound tomorrow, and if Castillo pitches well, I like our chances on Sunday. But we'll see how this game plays out. You know, Astros could win the first 2, and we could win the last 2. But if we want to try to win 3 out of 4, you know, you got to win here today after getting blasted in game 1, 9-2. Pitch fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gusto to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. You've been absolutely amazing in May. Keep it going, my guy. You know, you struggled in March and April, but he does that pretty much every year since he made his debut in 2022. And, you know, at some point in his career, he'll start off hot right out of the gates, but just kind of the type of player that he is, you know, needs reps before he starts getting better as the warmer weather comes about. Cutter fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Julio Rodriguez. Gusto on the mound, Julio in the box. 3 more likes to 30. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes before the stream ends. And we're at 10 on the dono train. 90 to go to hit the goal. Top of the 4th, 2-1 Astros. And Julio strikes out swinging. But at least he got the at-bat to 7 pitches. You know, we've seen Julio get out in the first pitch. So I like the fact that he's working the count. He's always going to be overly aggressive. It's just the difference is that he's actually making contact and getting on base in May, and he wasn't in April and in March. I still love you, Julio. We need you later in the game, though. Next up for the Mariners, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a curve. 79 miles an hour. Faked Cal out there. 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. We need a single. We need a double. But we'll take a Trident's up, a homer, any given day of the week. Let's go, Cal. The face of the franchise, the best player on the team, undoubtedly. Think about how bad we would be if we didn't have Cal, or if we, you know, didn't even have Julio. You know, this would not be the same type of team that we have in 2025. Best team that we've had top to bottom, even with the problems with the injuries and the bullpen, still it's the best team we've had since 2001. 24 years. I mean, we haven't had too many great years in the Mariners, team history. 1995 with Griffey, 97 with Griffey, 2001, Ichiro's rookie year, 2022, Julio and Cal's, first year starting together, with George Kirby, and, Cal hitting the home run, off the Athletics to get us into playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. And then this year. So, I mean, we're talking about 5 years, out of, 40 plus years of baseball. Not, but again, starting from 2022, we should have many, many good years with the core that we have. And on top of that, we got the number one farm system in baseball, so that's always nice. 1-2 pitch. Here to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Chopped foul. Come on, Cal, keep grinding out this at-bat, baby. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again with the four-seam fastball. Gusto on the mound, big dumper in the box, and you're starting to see some long counts here from the Mariner hitters, but we have to be able to find a way to go back to back to back to find an RBI situation, or we have to go yard like Leody Taveras did early in the matchup. Top of the fourth, 2-1 Astros. And big dumper strikes out swinging. Gusto wheeling and dealing. I see you. Down goes Cal. All right, Ryan, I'm not a hater. I see you. You're balling. You're bringing that electricity out for the Astros. Next up for the Mariners, someone that also needs to be electric, 0 for 1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. I got Jay Buhner in the booth. Always love Bones. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, high and away with a four-seam fastball. 94 miles an hour by Gusto. 1-0 count. Yeah, he got a lot of early Ks, in the first couple innings. So obviously he's pacing for 10 to 12, but hopefully that ends up not happening. 229 average, 6 homers, 21 ribbies for Randy. Fly out in the second, in play on the 1-0 pitch. There we go. Go, go, go. And Randy Arozarena doubled to left, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Next up for the Mariners, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And with one swing, him and Randy could come home and we could have a 3-2 lead. Nice job, Randy. All right, baby. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. Let's go. We need consecutive hits. Let's go, baby. Top of the fourth inning. We're only down a run. It's not like Emerson Hancock gave up 8 runs in the first few innings. Our pitchers overall have been pretty good, but again, with guys at the end of the starting lineup, Logan Evans, Emerson Hancock, Bryce Miller with that elbow and back, those guys have been very hit and miss, and most of the time it's been miss. Kirby came back and was definitely a miss yesterday. Did not look good, but hopefully he'll be better as the year goes on. We know Wu has been our number 1. Gilbert obviously will be our 2. And when he comes back, and Luis Castillo has been pretty solid this year as well. First pitch to Rowdy Tellez, high and away with a curve, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. Right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gusto to Tellez. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gusto to Rowdy. 3-2 record coming into the game with a 4.65 ERA. So it's not like he's a Cy Young candidate or anything like that. But, again, Mariners at times will be able to rake. And in other games, they're going to look like the old team where we were batting 180 to 220 as a team and the number 1 strikeout team in baseball, which we are no longer, thankfully, in 2025. But, sometimes you have these flashbacks of kind of the teams that weren't as good. And, thankfully we don't strike out left and right like we used to, because back in the day, even as early as last year, we would be getting 10 to 15 strikeouts like regularly. Thankfully, we don't do that anymore. Pitch is low and at the knees from Gusto to Tellez. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second with 2 outs. Randy with a double. Can Rowdy Tellez somehow, some way knock him in? Pitches low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Randy Arozarena with 2 outs. Gusto on the mound, trying to get another K. Tellez trying to get a homer to give the Mariners the lead. Let's go. Top of the 4th, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second, Randy. And, even if it ends up being a walk, just something positive. And now you got a mound visit here by Diaz and Gusto trying to figure out what is the best pitch to go at Rowdy to bait him. And they go low and away. Rowdy doesn't bite, and that's a walk. There we go. We'll take the 4 balls. Nice job, Rowdy, by not getting greedy and swinging and trying to be a hero there. And speaking of heroes, the hero of the White Sox series in game number 3 and potentially one of the heroes today, second homer of the Seattle Mariners season, right fielder Leody Taveras. Come on, Leody. And he homered to right 398 feet there in the bottom of the 3rd to give us the 1-0 lead. But then Isaac Paredes had a 2-run homer in the next inning, or obviously at the next at-bat in the bottom of the 3rd, to retake the lead 2-1. So we've had homers in the 3rd inning by both teams. Are we going to have a homer here in the 4th by the Mariners? Come on, Leody. I'll even take this an RBI to tie the game up, because we just have to make sure we're close, as the starters go out. And hopefully we don't have shitty bullpen guys like Bizzardo and Hahn coming in again. That was terrible. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 2 more likes to 30. Let's get there, baby. $22 likes to go to hit the goal. Trying to get to 50. But got to get to 30 first. First pitch. Inside. At the knees. 1-0 count. Gusto starting to lose a little of his, a little bit of that accuracy in that placement. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees again. 2-0 count. I like what I'm seeing here. Might be a walk. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Gusto to Taveras. Come on, baby. 1 more ball, and then we got bases loaded. But then who's up next after Leody Taveras? It'll be Miles Mastrobuoni. Not the most reliable hitter, but, you never know. Top of the 4th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 3-0 count from Gusto to Taveras. Come on, Leody, be smart, my guy. And Leody in play and grounds out to second. And we leave 2 stranded. Brutal. But it's not like Mastrobuoni would more than likely do anything either, though. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Stros. I hate leaving guys stranded, especially when it's like we're not as, hitting as good as we were, in our 9 consecutive series wins. In that, kind of moment, we were averaging about 6 to 10 runs, for about a month and a half. We are no longer averaging 6 runs a game. So, again, when you end up having a couple guys on and leave them stranded, and it happens a couple times, or you hit into a couple double plays, it definitely gets frustrating. But I still have faith that we can come back and win. Next up, 0 for 1, first baseman Christian Walker. Batting second in the 6th hole, DHing Victor Caratini. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Jake Myers. Let's go Mariners. Yeah, well, we did, make the playoffs, in 2022. So 95, 97, 2001, 2022, and you'll be able to add 2025 to that list as well. Let's go over some pitching stats. We typically do that around this point of the game. All right, Ryan Gusto, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 62 pitches, 40 strikes. He had an ERA of 4.65. Now it's down to 4.37. And he came into the matchup with a 3-2 record. But based on his performance, you would think that his record would be better than that. And let's take a quick look at Emerson Hancock, our worst starter on the team. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, 49 pitches, 30 strikes, and his ERA was 6.21 coming into the game. Now it's 6.19, and he had a 1-2 record. But remember, his ERA was 81. He gave up 6 runs in his first start, got sent down to AAA, and his ERA was 81. So he's been able to get it from 81 to 6. Still terrible, but it's a lot better than where it was. First pitch from Hancock to Walker. Takes a strike looking inside the zone. 0-1 count. Come on, Emerson. 0-1 pitch. In play. Grounds out to JP. Throw to first. To Rowdy. 1 away. Nice job by JP. Next up, DHing Victor Caratini. Nice defense, JP. First pitch to Caratini, low and away from Emerson Hancock with the changeup, 85 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Caratini in the box, Emerson Hancock on the mound. Come on, Emerson. Let's go. 1-0 pitch in play. Caratini flies out to left. Randy Arozarena and Julio Rodriguez out there. No fly zone. 2 away. Next up for the Astros, center fielder Jake Myers. First pitch fouled off. High and in the zone. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Hancock. 0-1 count. Agreed. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Fouled that one off again. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Come on, Emerson. See if we can get a punch out here. And again, I figured if Emerson could get, 4 to 6 Ks, that might be enough for him to be able to, help us win. We're only down a run, and unfortunately he gave up a 2-run jack. But again, you're not going to win very many baseball games scoring only 1 or 2 runs. You really have to get into that 4 or 5 run number, 7 to 10 hits. And if you can get to that number more times than not, you'll be competitive if you don't win, or you will win, especially if the pitching is good. But you're not going to win too many games in MLB in 2025 scoring only 1 to 3 runs. Unless you're playing a team that, can't score either. In play, and Myers singles the center right in front of Julio Rodriguez. Next up is Cam Smith. First pitch to Cam Smith, low and away with the slider, 1-0 count. Come on, Emerson, settle in. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-1 Astros. 1-0 pitch, in play. Fuck. And Cam Smith doubles to left, Myers to third. And you got to be really careful here because, again, if he can't get this last out, this is going to end up being 4-1 or at least 3-1. And we don't want the game to get out of hand. And, again, you'd love to be able to have Emerson Hancock go 5 or 6 innings. But this is a real crucial part of the game where you may – would consider pulling him, but of course Dan Wilson won't, and we'll find out if we'll end up getting burned on this next player or not. Next up, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. And Dubon, even though he's a 9-hole hitter, he easily could get an RBI single or RBI double here and bring in 1 or 2. So, if it was me, I would pull him, but I know Dan Wilson won't. But hopefully Emerson can get lucky and get him to pop up, ground out, or strike him out. But I would not be shocked if we get down 3-1, 4-1 in this inning. I hope not. I really want to have a chance to be able to win this game. But if we end up giving up the runs and we don't score, a whole lot, from the 5th to the 9th inning, and we go 0-2 in the series, obviously we can win with Wu and Castillo in the last two. But you have Woodworth coming out, having discussion with Cal, as well as Emerson Hancock. But, if our bullpen was a little bit better, then we could probably stretch guys a little bit more. But our bullpen is just as bad as some of the guys, that are starting. The bullpen sometimes is worse than Bryce Miller at his worst. Sometimes our bullpen is worse than Emerson Hancock or Logan Evans. So, it definitely is tricky. It's not like we have this luxury where we have 5 Gabe Spires and 5 Andres Munozes and, we have a couple Legominas. It's like we have a couple guys, Matt Brash, Legumina, Gabe Spire, Andres Munoz as the closer. Those are the only 4 guys I trust in the pen. And one's a closer, and the other 3 are relievers. Everyone else is very, very hit and miss. But hopefully, by the baseball gods, they'll help us get out of this. In play on the 1-0 pitch, yes! And Leody Taveras is there, and we get bailed out. Because most of the time, I'm telling you, Mauricio Dubon comes up with a big play right there. We got incredibly lucky that Emerson Hancock was able to throw the right pitch at the right time with that mound visit with Woodworth and Cal Raleigh. Nice fucking job. End of the 4th inning, and now we're only down a run. It gives us still a chance to win this game. Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up here in the top of the 5th, 0-for-0 with a base on ball, second baseman Miles Mastroboni. Why is Leo Rivas not playing? He should be playing over Mastroboni, or it should be fucking Dylan Moore. Why the hell is Miles playing like every fucking day? Ridiculous. Next up on deck, third baseman, 0-for-1, Ben Williamson. Drop the bunt down, start the rally. And batting third, 1-for-2 with a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. A guy that is so overdue for a homer. Will we get it here today or in this series? I hope so. Let's go, JP. No, he had some back tightness. So that's why it happened in batting practice, and he just felt off. So that's the reason why he didn't play yesterday, but he's back in the lineup today. And then Brian Wu ended up getting a freakish play in last night's game in the 8th inning. He was just chilling, and all of a sudden a foul ball hit him in the knee. And bruising and swelling happened, but it sounds like Dan Wilson, as long as he keeps icing it, it shouldn't affect his start tomorrow. Because again, if we don't have Brian Wu tomorrow, we might not win any games in this fucking series. We might get swept, and I don't want to see that happen. I want to see us go at the very least 2-2. Obviously for us to go 3 out of 4, we have to win today. And, we're not down by a bunch, but we definitely need the bats to start to heat up. Steph, I agree. Mastro ain't it. Just like Donovan Solano and Mitch Garver. Again, those guys need to be replaced. And, coincidentally, we have a Donovan Solano replacement in AAA. His name's Tyler Locklear. He's on the Tacoma Rainiers. Send him up. Get rid of Donovan Solano. But it's about the payroll, right? And look at this. Miles Mastroboni back. See ya. Wow. Miles Mastroboni. He says, hey, Mariner fans, you think I can't hit? Well, I can't, but I'm going to make you guys happy today. Big solo jack by Miles Mastroboni, earning his fucking paycheck. Finally, way to bring the electricity. And now we got homers by the 2 most unexpected heroes, Leody Taveras and now Miles Mastroboni. Way to fucking be. Mastroboni with his first homer in a Seattle Mariner uniform. And hell, better late than never. He heard that we were talking about him, and he said, I gotta do something now. They're talking about Dylan Moore and Leo Rivas. They are better than me, but hell, I gotta earn my paycheck. Way to earn it, Miles. Way to be. That might actually give us the Uncle Mo and the momentum to win the game now. Hell of a job. Next up is Ben Williamson. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ben Williamson. Let's go, Ben. Drop the bunt down. Let's go.
But I still agree with you, Steph. You know, Mastro ain't it. I mean, he got lucky. Finally, you know what, like 50 fucking games in, finally hits his first homer, you know, for the Seattle Mariners. But again, if there was a time for him to do it in a game like this, you know, him and Leote, you know, hitting that home run in that last game in the White Sox series to help us win and getting one here today. Sometimes, you know, unexpected heroes step up. And I don't think anyone expected those two guys to homer here today. But again, momentum has shifted, and hopefully we can ride that momentum, and hopefully we can get a couple more runs this inning to take the lead and then never look back. Because if we win this game, we can win with Wu and Castillo, you know, and drop that first game, get our ass kicked 9-2, and then win the rest of the series. That would be great. Nice job by Miles. You're still not good enough to be an everyday player. You know, you got Cole Young in AAA. You know, that could be there. You got Dylan Moore. You got Leo Rivas. There's other opportunities, but, you know, even though you haven't been very good, Miles, that was a hell of a hit there. Nice job. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gusto to Williamson. Super meaningful homer. You know, some guys just hit homers and it's just like in garbage time, right? But thankfully, Leote and Miles are on the same page today. And again, we're still waiting on others. JP, you know, Jorge Polanco, Julio, Cal, you know, and normally when we hit 2 home runs in a game, that 3rd and 4th is right around the corner. So I don't be shocked, you know, before this game ends, if we get 1 more homer or maybe even 2 more. You know, it could end up being anybody in the, you know, top 5, you know, in the order. Could be JP, could be Polo, could be Julio, could be Cal, could be Randy, could be Rowdy. You know, it could be one of those guys. And I mean, and hell, you know, you never know. Maybe, you know, you get some crazy magic where Leote homers again, something like that. 3-2 pitch, and that's a walk. What a great at-bat there. 8 pitches in, and with a full count, Gusto walks Williamson. What a good eye. Nice job, Big Ben. And now we have a runner at first with no outs with the game tied. And again, they have to be, you know, considering pulling Gusto at some point, but hopefully we fuck him up and we end up taking like a 4-2 lead and then they pull him. Next up, a guy that is super overdue for a homer, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, Crawdaddy. Let's go. Odin with a tenor. Appreciate you, Odin. Gabriel in the building. What's good, brother? Let's go, M's. Odin with a tenor. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you, Odin. And I'm not sure if he's going to pop into the chat or not, but I appreciate you very, very much. Every dollar counts, baby. First pitch, high and away to JP. Good eye, 1-0 count. Gusto is starting to lose, he's starting to lose that location and losing the swagger a little bit. Getting a little tired, and that's what happens with a lot of pitchers, right? They get tired in that 5th inning. Start to lose the control. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the bottom corner. That was a good pitch by Gusto. 1 ball and 1 strike, painting that corner. 1-1 pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gusto to Crawford. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Come on, JP, work the count, baby. Pitch is low and away, fouled off with that curveball, 82 miles an hour. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes with no outs with a runner at first. Come on, JP.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, M's. Let's battle, baby. Pitches low and away, fouled off again. Quite a few deep at-bats so far. Pitches outside. Four-seam fastball high and away. That's kind of what Gusto is trying to bait JP, but he ain't biting on that high and away, and he's only swinging at low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first with no outs, and maybe this will end up being a walk. JP does not strike out often. And the Mariners players ranked top 10 in walks. We have 3. JP Crawford is tied with Cal Raleigh with 32. That's second. And Randy Arozarena is 7th with 28. So we have 3 guys, in the tops in the American League there. JP in play and flied out to left. Damn it. I was hoping that was going to, drop in between the shortstop and the left fielder, but good play there. 1 away. Down goes JP. Still love you, JP. Let's go. Next up, a guy that's cooled off, was batting 350 to 450, but still hovering around 300. Let's get it going. Jorge Polanco. We need that bat to come alive. This would be a great time to hit a 2-run jack to give us a 4-2 lead. Come on, Polo. Polo's average has finally dipped below 300 for the first time of the season, down to 287. Come on, Polo. I mean, he was sitting at 350 to 450 for like the first month and a half of the season, and then it kind of dipped from 350 to 450 to like 300 to 325. And now finally, right under 300. But with a couple hits, he can be right back. So come on, Polo. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. See that baseball. Come on now. Where's that swagger and that riz that you were showing early in the matchup? We need you. We need that early version of Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Have that swagger. Have that confidence. Know that you can do it. Remember how bad you and Garver were last year. You turned it around. Garver and Solano and Masterboni are still not good. Especially when we got Locklear, Cole Young, and Harry Ford, that I think that would be better than those 3 players right now, and they're in AAA. So hopefully we'll be able to see those guys sooner than later. Yeah, but we're much better than we were, in 2021 through 2024. You got to think we were batting like 180 to 220 as a team, which was one of the worst. And we were the number 1 strikeout team for years, as we're seeing Gusto finally exit the game, thank God. But at least now we don't strike out nearly as much. It's one thing, when you pop up and you ground out, and that stinks. But there's nothing worse, when your team can't hit and you strike out 10 to 15 times a game. And we don't do that anymore. So I feel like we've definitely turned a corner with Edgar and Seitzer. And again, better things to come in 2025. First pitch from Sosa to Polo. High and away with that slider, 1-0 count. And maybe this will be where the game opens up now, because we finally got Gusto to exit. I was hoping that they would keep him in by the time that we ended up getting to like 3-2 or 4-2, but they decided to pull him now, and we'll see if that's the right decision for the Stros or not. In play on the 1-0 pitch, and Polo pops out to the shortstop, 2 away. Polo has definitely cooled off. We need you to heat back up, my guy. Next up, someone that's been hot as of late, center fielder, has had a great May. It's gotta be May. Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, high and away. Slider, 1-0 count. Come on, Julio. Trident's up. And also in years past, the Mariners typically would only have one good hitter, and he might not even be hitting 300. It might be like 290 or 300, right? And then everyone else was just not good. And Julio can't get it done there. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning. We're still knotted up at 2. But at least like when we won 9 consecutive series, we had like 5 guys out of 9 that were hot. 6 guys out of 9. Even the role players were stepping up. But, since that 9, consecutive series, streak, kind of ended, we haven't been really the same team. Injuries have hurt us, but again, 6 runs is, what we were scoring pretty much every game for like a month and a half. And you knew at some point that was going to end, but hopefully that'll start up again. And I believe it will, at some point. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th. At least we were able to tie the game up. A way to be Miles Mastroboni with a solo jack there in the 5th. Next up is Jeremy Pena. 0 for 1 with a run and a K. On deck, 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs. Third baseman, Isak Paredes. 2-run homer to give them the 2-1 lead. After we got a solo jack by Leody Taveras to give us the 1-0 lead. And batting third, 2 for 2, had 2 homers yesterday. Altuve's been money in the series. But hopefully he doesn't get anything here. I mean, you're already a 2 for 2. I mean, we don't need him to go 3 for 3. 6 likes to 40. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes before the stream ends. And we're at 20 on the dono train, 80 to go. Come on, Mariners. Come on, Cal. We're going to need you. We need that big late inning heroics. Come on, Cal. Julio flied out to center in that last out. Hopefully we can get the same thing happen here with Jeremy Pena. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Astros. Dead even, right down the board. And hopefully we can find a way as, we go into the bullpens. And hopefully we can find a way where our bullpen is strong, theirs is weak, and we find a way to win this game 4-3 or something of that nature. First pitch from Hancock to Pena, fouled it off low and away. 0-1 count to Jeremy Pena. And besides the 2-run jack that he gave up, Hancock has actually been pretty good today. I mean, he hasn't been electric with like 8, 9, 10 Ks, but considering he's the worst pitcher on the staff and he's only given up 2 and it was just a 2-run homer, I would say that's a success. If he gives up 3 runs or less, we should have a chance to win. And that goes for anybody. Bryce Miller, Emerson Hancock, Logan Evans, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. Even our elite guys like, Brian Wu, the all-star this year. The same thing goes for him. 3 runs or less, and if you give up that, we'll have a very good chance. Pena flies out to right. There we go. I get my wish. 1 away. Down goes Jeremy. I do like him. He's my favorite player on the roster. Next up, third baseman, Isak Paredes. Daniel in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building, what's good? First pitch, low and away to Paredes with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Hell yeah, Jacob, I'm excited for you. I've never seen Ohtani for Mariners Angels or Mariners Dodgers yet, but I will, see him before he retires for sure. Got to. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Paredes. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Paredes. Two-one pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're knotted up at 2. Paredes with a 2-run jack. And then we have 2 solo dingers by Leody Taveras and Miles Mastroboni, which is so unexpected. But again, sometimes you'll have unexpected heroes that step up, and hopefully we'll get a few more homers if that's the route that this game is going to go. Because the Mariners win in 2 different ways. Either by a bunch of hits, hit, back to back to back, and that leads to RBIs, or we just have this, home run type of game where we homer 3 to 5 times in the game, and we just kind of blow the other team out. So right now it's tied, so we'll see where the game goes. And we are one of the best teams in MLB in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So hopefully that stat will come true as we get to those innings. Bottom of the 5th, 3-2 pitch in play, and Isaac Paredes singles to left. And he's been a very good hitter for the Astros in 2025. All right, Paredes, I see you. Next up is left fielder Jose Altuve. And we need a double play here. But again, the way that Altuve typically works, is he's either red hot or he's ice cold. There's really no in between. You're not going to see him typically go like 1 for 5. It's usually like 3 for 5 with 2 homers, or 4 for 5 or something of that nature, or it ends up being 0 for 5. It's pretty rare to see him, just go 1 for 5 and get that 1 base knock. He's either really on, which he has been in these last 2 games, or he'll be really off. And we'll find out tomorrow with Wu on the mound. Hopefully he'll have like an 0 for 4 day tomorrow, 0 for 5 day, but we can't let Altuve homer. He obviously did that twice yesterday. And again, he's got 2 base knocks, here in this game. We got to be able to shut him down. Yeah, I've seen Judge in person too. I was lucky enough to get a Judge ball in that 62 home run season in 2022 in Julio's rookie year. That was a true blessing. Even when I think about it, it's kind of wild. And I did predict I was going to get one too, which makes it even crazier. And Altuve singles to center, like I said, 3 for 3. He is not in between. It's like, regardless of the cheating allegations with the garbage cans and all that, obviously that's never going to go away. But, if you can look past that, even though he is probably the most hated player in baseball right now, Jose Altuve, he's still a very damn good player, and that's kind of sad that they had to resort to those, cheating techniques because they didn't need to. They were good enough to win without the garbage can and stealing the signs and all that. Nice base knock there by Altuve. 3 for 3 day yesterday with 2 homers. First pitch to Yanier Diaz, low and away, 1-0 count. Can't let them take the lead here. 1-0 pitch, fouls that one off right down the middle from Emerson Hancock. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second with 1 out. And I know they're trying to, have him complete this inning, but I don't know if we'll go unscathed or not, though. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Diaz. No, but the Astros don't really have the same feeling because when they had the big 5, they were very dominant. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 guys on, first and second with 1 out. Hancock on the mound, Diaz in the box. But when it was, Altuve, Pena, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Kyle Tucker, you were like, fuck, this team is good. But now Kyle Tucker is balling out for the Chicago Cubs. Alex Bregman's balling out, even though he got, I think, injured today or yesterday for the Red Sox. But he's still playing pretty well over there. Now they have 3, Pena, Altuve, and Alvarez, and Yordan Alvarez has been injured, for a good chunk of this first 50 games. So, it's not really the same team, but they still can hurt you. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yanier Diaz. Bottom of the 5th, we're knotted up at 2. And we have a 3-2 count for Hancock to Diaz. Yeah, but you could say the same thing, about Logan Evans. You could say the same thing about Bryce Miller, and again, you got to think he's our worst pitcher. He had an ERA of 81. He gave up 6 runs in his first start. His ERA is at 6 now, and Diaz gets hit by a pitch. You got to pull him now. You got bases loaded now with 1 out. You have to pull. You probably should have pulled him in the 4th inning. And again, if our bullpen was better, we wouldn't have to come to these, conclusions where we're like, fuck, pull him. But again, if we pull him and bring in someone else, he might do worse than what we have right now, which is kind of a scary thing to think of. Like, we pull him, bring in someone like Bizzardo, and then he gives up a grand slam, then we lose. So, got to be careful here. And hopefully we get a couple cheap outs. Next up is Christian Walker. But as long as any of our starters give up 3 runs or less, if the bats can come alive, you don't deserve to win a baseball game if you can't score 4 runs. You got to score 4 to 5. And I know sometimes it ends up being a pitcher's duel, and it ends up being 2-1, 1-0, 3-2, 4-3. But, you got to have those bats come alive, and hopefully they will here in the next few innings. First pitch from Hancock to Walker. Low and away with the changeup, 1-0 count. We cannot let them score 1, 2, 3, 4 in this inning, or we're going to be fucked. Come on, Emerson. And if you really think about it, he only had 1 bad pitch. And big hit. Walker, sac fly. Paredes scores 3-2 Stros. Pull him. Nice sac fly by Walker. Next up, DHing Victor Caratini. Too bad we didn't have like 2 Legominas, 2 Brashes, 2 Gabe Spires, and a couple Andres Munozes, and then we could pull, early in the 4th and the 5th, but, with the Colin Snyders and the Bizzardos and the Jesse Hahns and all those guys, the Trent Thorntons, even though he's on the IL, gosh, we got some real shitty bullpen pitchers. Should have never spent the money on Donovan Solano and Miles Mastroboni. Should have used that money to get 2 relief pitchers. And think about how much better of a position we would have been in. First pitch to Caratini, high and away, 1-0 count. Come on, Mariners. We're still in this game. It's not over yet. Caratini in the box. Emerson on the mound. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 5 more likes to 40. Let's get there, baby. And in play, and a fielder's choice, and the runner is out. Emerson finally gets us out of the jam. If he would have given up that big hit, game over, 100%. But thankfully, he only gives up a run, and I don't know if we're going to see him in the 6th inning. Let's look to see where he's at on the pitch count. So he's at 81 pitches, so they may have him go back one more time. And, we'll see if that ends up being the right decision or not. But at least we're only down a run, not down 5. All right, here we go. This is how we tie the game up. Next up for the Mariners, you know who it is. It's Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. And with 1 swing, he can tie the game up. He's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Let's change that here. Batting second, 1 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. You're due. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball. Another guy that could hit a homer to get this game tied. First baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Mariners. He's no longer on the team. He's been on the Blue Jays for years. But Springer had a really rough 2024, for the Blue Jays, but he's much better this year in 2025. Kind of changed some of his mechanics and his batting stance, and it's been working for him. I try to follow the whole league, not just the Mariners. So, all right, let's go to the top of the 6th inning. Mariners only down a run. We can do this. Again, not the best outing, but again, it's pretty much what I expected. 3 runs or less, and we're in position for that to happen. Now we just need the bats to come alive, and then we won't have to worry about what Emerson Hancock gave up. We just have to continue to grind out the at-bats and just keep, grinding out runs and hits, and, what he did shouldn't matter. 3-2 Stros here in the top of the 6th. Come on, Big Dumper. First pitch to Big Dumper, takes a strike swinging in the zone, 0-1 count. Sosa on the mound, Big Dumper in the box. Come on, Cal. We'll take a single. We'll take a double. We'll take a homer. Trident's up. Let's go. Come on, Cal. You are the face of the franchise. Oh, 1 pitch. And there we go. Cal Raleigh singles to left. He got the message. He got the text. There we go. Nice job, Cal. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And you better not hit into a fucking double play, Randy. Get hit by a pitch like Ty France always did, right? Find a way to get walked. Do not, absolutely do not fucking hit into a double play. Come on, Randy. First pitch. Takes a strike looking on the line, trying to paint that corner by Sosa. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike in the same location, now behind in the count. 0-2. Come on, Randy. Randy kind of reminds me like Julio, but not Julio in May, Julio in March and April, where he's struggling most of the time, an extremely streaky hitter. When Randy is on, it seems like he does good when we lose. You know, like he can end up having 2, 3, 4 hits, but then it's like we're getting blown out, so it doesn't fucking matter. But when we really need him, you know, sometimes he's just not there, you know. And on top of that, sometimes a little laziness in left field, you know, a little lackadaisical, you know, happy-go-lucky, kind of lollygagging and not really taking it serious defensively out there. And effort is everything. And I know a lot of Mariner fans notice that as well. You know, like run hard, you know, to the pop-ups and the ground balls in your area, you know, even if you think it's going to be a for sure, you know, double for the guy, like you never know. And there goes Randy striking out swinging, not surprised, 1 away. Come on, Randy, where are you? Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez with 1 swing. He could get it done, but they're going to have Dylan Moore pinch hit for Rowdy Tellez. I guess that's better than Donovan Solano. All right, Demo, come on, baby. Come on, Dylan. All right, now we're making another pitching change here. Since we went from a lefty to a righty to Demo. And now they're going to bring in the righty with Dubin. Oh, come on, Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We only need 12 more likes to get to 50 for the stream overall. We're at 38. So if you are in the room, we have at least 12 people in the room that haven't done it yet. Please smash that like button for your boy, and it'll help us get more numbers throughout the stream. And we've been able to get 50 to 60 likes, you know, for, you know, quite a few streams in a row. We're only 12 away from 50. Let's go, baby. And we're at 20 on the dono train, 80 to go. Yeah, Rockies definitely are much worse than the White Sox last year. Pacing to be, you know, one of the record-breaking, you know, teams in MLB, but not in the way that you would like. Not with wins, but with losses. Top of the 6th, Astros up 3-2. Dylan Moore pinch hitting for Rowdy Tellez. If you want a quick recap, top of the 3rd, Leody Taveras homered, 1-0 Mariners. In the bottom of the 3rd, Isak Paredes homered with a 2-run jack with Pena aboard, 2-1 Astros. Then Miles Mastrobuoni in the top of the 5th, solo jack, tied it up at 2, and then Christian Walker with bases loaded, sac fly to left. Paredes scores, and now the Astros are up 3-2, but the Mariners still have a chance. Let's go. Dubin coming in from Sosa. Let's go, Demo. First pitch, high and away. 1-0 pitch from Dubin to Demo with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away with that sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes to Dylan Moore. 2-0 pitch, low and away, about 5 feet off the plate with that 4-seam fastball. 3 balls and no strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Don't swing, Demo. Take the walk. Come on, Dylan. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. And there it is. 4-pitch walk. Dylan isn't going to be trying to play hero ball. Just take what they give you. Nice job, Dylan. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Solo jack to give us the 1-0 lead. Right fielder, Leody Taveras. Let's go, Leody. Let's tie this game up or take the lead. All right, I know what we need. First pitch to Taveras, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. There he is. It's the rally moose, and we need it. Let's go, Maurice. Top of the 6th inning. We're down by a run. 3-2 Astros. Runners at first and second. Leody Taveras in the box. Solo jack early in the matchup in the 3rd. And hopefully we'll be able to add on here this evening. Come on, Leody. Dubin coming in and relieving Sosa in the pen. And it drops. There you go. Nice job, Leody Taveras. Go, go, go. And I don't know why Cal Raleigh thought he could score there. He should have stayed at 3rd. That was stupid. And we get Astros get maybe one of the easiest outs ever. After that ball dropped in, it should have just been bases loaded with 1 out. But I don't know what the hell Cal was thinking there. He got thrown out by a mile at home. Brutal. Nice throw by Altuve. Great throw by Altuve. Oh, man, what a throw by Altuve, but not the runner that you would want coming from 3rd to home to try to, tie the game up. I know it's, you want to be aggressive, but that was stupid. The 3rd base coach should have told him to stop. Next up, with runners now at 1st and 2nd with 2 outs, Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 count. (0-1) pitch, takes another strike looking, behind in the count now, 0-2. (0-2) pitch, low and at the knees with the curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. You already had a solo jack that gave us the momentum. Can you get another big hit at this at-bat? In play, and Mastrobuoni grounds out to the shortstop, and that's the end of the inning. Just wish that Cal would have stayed. You never know what could have happened, after Miles Mastrobuoni. Maybe that next hitter after him could have made the play, and that would have been Ben Williamson with bases loaded with 2 outs, but we'll never know. Brutal, brutal, brutal. We leave them stranded, but we're only down a run. So, I mean, I still like our chances of, tying up or taking the lead. We're a very good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning team. But another missed opportunity by the Seattle Mariners. Next up, for the Astros here in the bottom of the 6th, 1 for 2 with a K, center fielder Jake Myers. Batting second, 1 for 2, right fielder Cam Smith. And batting third, 0 for 2, Mauricio Dubon. Let's go Mariners. All right, we're at 40. We only need 10 more likes to go before the stream ends. We can definitely do that. Let's go, baby. And we're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. We need the Mariner Moose, baby. Let's go. We got Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow, so we should win tomorrow. As long as Wu pitches like he has all season and all-star, the bats will, hopefully come alive as well. We'll have a very good chance to get 4 to 5 runs or more tomorrow. And then we got Luis Castillo La Piedra on Sunday. So, I mean, if we want to have any chance of splitting the series or winning 3 out of 4, we have to try to come back here today. And if we end up dropping this game, we have to win with Wu and Castillo to make it 2-2. First pitch from Hancock to Myers. They got Emerson still out there here in the 6th. Low and away, 1-0 count. And I assume they're going to try to get him to get at least an out or 2 before they pull him, unless he's able to be successful and, get out of this inning unscathed. But we'll find out if that's the case or not. Yeah, Emerson is still out there. And again, I figured if he gave up 3 runs or less, we should have a chance to win. But, the offense just, hasn't been able to, be as good, but in play. And Myers singles to left. But you may have one more batter, and then you're going to have to pull him. I mean, we probably should have already pulled him in like the 4th inning, but, our bullpen isn't very good right now. Next up is Cam Smith. First pitch to Cam. Tries to jam the hitter inside with the sinker. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes with a runner at first and no outs. But again, if they end up getting runners at first and second with no outs, we have to pull him. There is no ands, ifs, or buts. We probably should have pulled him in the 4th. Definitely should have pulled him in the 5th. And we're lucky that we're only down a run right now. .20 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Smith. Come on, Emerson. Hancock on the mound, Cam Smith in the box. .21 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Smith. Bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Astros lead with a runner at first and no outs. Come on, Mariners. Be awesome if we get a double play here. A little slow dribbler right up to JP, and then we can throw it to Demo at first. Come on, Mariners. Trident's up. And Myers caught stealing. Hell yeah. At least they're nice throw by Cal Raleigh from the knees. He definitely made a mistake trying to score from third, and got caught there late. But what a throw by Cal. And Myers caught stealing. Nice job. Way to be, Cal. 3-2 pitch, and Smith singles to right. Next up, second baseman Mauricio Dubon, and hopefully we get a double play, like I mentioned. A little slow dribbler right up the middle, and then we get out of this inning, and then that'll be the end for Emerson Hancock, and we're only down a run, so. Yeah, but considering he's our worst, starter, again, 3 runs, I mean, anybody could give up 3. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, and it's just like the guys that are, injured or on the low end of our starting rotation. Bryce Miller, Emerson Hancock, and Logan Evans. We got to figure out who's going to be the guy that is the 5th guy. In play. And Dubon fouls out at first, 2 away. There we go. Next up, one of their top 2 players on the team with Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena. First pitch from Hancock to Pena, takes a strike looking, painting that corner high and away, 0-1 count. 2 more strikes and we can get out of this fucking inning. Come on, Emerson. Hancock on the mound, Pena in the box. Pena, definitely my favorite player on the Astros. My 2 favorites that were on the team when they were good were Pena and Tucker. And Pena grounded out to the fielder's choice to second, and JP is there. Nice job, Emerson. I mean, besides the 2-run blast that he gave up, he actually pitched a pretty good game. You have to understand, in his first start, he gave up 6 runs, right? His ERA was 81, and he got sent down to AAA. And then he's been able to get his ERA from 81 to 6. So, again, it's still terrible, but it could be at 15 right now. It could still be a very high number, and he actually just cracked under 6. Nice job, Emerson, 5.95 ERA. Let's take a look at the final line for Emerson Hancock. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but considering he's our worst starter, not bad. 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. I would have liked to seen 5 or 6 Ks, but, whatever. 92 pitches, 57 strikes, and a 5.95 ERA. Now, we just need the bats to come alive. The Mariners' bats have not done their job. All right, we've got 6 hits, but we only got fucking 2 runs. Let's go. Let's go to the top of the 7th inning, and this is where we typically rake. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball. Third baseman, Ben Williamson, drop the fucking bunt. They'll never expect it. And you'll get on base. Safe. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, DHing Jorge Polanco. But knowing our luck, it'll probably be Donovan Solano pinch hitting for him. I hope not, but, hopefully it'll be Mitch Garver over him. Hopefully we'll see if Mitch comes in at some point. It really will depend if it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. And now they're bringing in King for Dubin. Let's go Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go, baby. Time for a rally. Going to be a good one tomorrow. Brian Wu versus Framber Valdez. 9 starts, 5-1 record, 2.65 ERA, 55 Ks to 8 walks. Insane. Brian Wu is a fucking all-star this year. Just like Cal Raleigh, just like Andres Munoz, and Dan Wilson should be the American League manager, and maybe we can even get Julio into the all-star game also. That would be awesome. First pitch from King to Williamson, low and at the knees, takes a strike swinging, 0-1 count. Drop the bunt. Come on, Big Ben. Don't be afraid. In play. And Williamson flies out to center and 1 away. He's going to drop the bunt, my guy. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Like, it feels like we haven't bunted in fucking forever. And we did when we were in that 9 consecutive series win streak. We bunted at least once or twice a game, it felt like, for most of the games. But, again, definitely getting away from the fundamentals. You need to do that. Come on, J.P. First pitch from King to JP, fouled off, high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike with that 4-seam fastball to JP Crawford. King on the mound, JP in the box. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. Come on, JP. 1 for 3 for JP Crawford. Let's make it 2 for 4. 1-1 pitch. There we go, JP. Not a boy. Nice little base knock over there into left field. I love it. Hell yeah. Nice job, JP Crawford. You the man. Next up, Jorge Polanco. But it's going to be, like I said, Mitch Garver. Knew it. Top of the 7th, runner at first with 1 out. And again, we don't have a whole lot of confidence typically in guys like Donovan Solano, Miles Mastroboni, Mitch Garver. But, Mitch, there are going to be games where he's going to pinch hit and he's going to help us get a nice RBI and help us win. But there's also going to be opportunities where we have bases loaded and Mitch Garver's up and he's going to get punched out. He doesn't really swing. And I don't know if that's something internally by him trying to draw walks or if the dugout is telling him not to. But again, you got to swing the bat at some point. First pitch, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Come on, Mitch. Nobody wants to see you get punched out looking or swinging. Come on. King on the mound, Garver in the box. Astros up 3-2 in the top of the 7th with a runner at first, JP Crawford. AM in the building. Oh, you're going to the game tomorrow in Houston? Brian Wu on the mound, going against Framber Valdez. And so, again, that gives us the best chance to win in the series with Wu. Again, we're going to be shooting for, obviously 6 to 10 Ks, in that game. But, even if he gets 4 to 6, that could be good enough to win. Nice, man. Congratulations. And like I said, I would love to be able to see Wu. I'm going to be going on the 4th of July when we play the Pirates, and I'm hoping it's Skeens and Wu or Skeens and Gilbert is really what I'm hoping for. And getting Wu, like if you're going to go to any game in the series, it's tomorrow's game is the game to go. So I'm very excited for you. Bringing the 3-year-old that loves baseball. What a better way to bring them to the park to be able to check out the all-star this year, Brian Wu, our best pitcher. And Garver strikes out swinging. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. You're 0 for 3 with the K. We really needed your defense and offense yesterday. But, you had some tightness in that bat in batting practice, so they, took the day off for you. But, again, we need your bat to come alive. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. We need you, baby. Come on, J-Rod. Top of the 7th, runner at first. JP with 2 outs. We need a big RBI or home run. Are they going to bring in another pitcher? Now they're going to bring in Abreu. God, they're really bringing out the big guns. The Astros are not fucking around. They are really trying to win these first 2 games. You can tell the strategy. It's like every batter. I wish the Mariners were like that, where they're actually looking at, okay, lefty, righty, and then they're very strategic, but also, you have to have the bodies to do it. And unfortunately, the Mariners don't have enough good guys in the pen to be as strategic as the Stros. But hopefully Julio will be able to get a hit on Abreu, who's coming into the matchup. Come on, J-Rod. Mariner Moose is rooting for you. How many Julio photos do we need for him to go yard? I don't know, but I'm going to start throwing up some. We need all the good luck we can get here. 1 Julio, 2 Julio, 3 Julio, 4 Julio, 5 Julio, 6 J-Rod. I'm not done. Seven Julios. How many? 8 Julios? Is that the magic number? 8 Julios, and then he'll be able to do something special? 8 Julio Rodriguez photos. Come on now. We need something special. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez. 9 Julios. I'm really digging deep now. Come on, baby. First pitch to Julio, high and away. 1-0 count from Abreu. And Abreu is solid. It's going to be tough here. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first with 2 outs. Astros up 3-2. And they're really bringing out the guns to try to win this game number 2 after we actually got stomped on and smashed, stone cold stunned in rock bottom 9-2 yesterday. And we typically don't get blown out in back-to-back games, but when you lose by a run, it can be equally as painful as getting blown out. Sometimes it even hurts more because you feel like you should have won. Come on, J-Rod. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes. I think we only need 5 to 10 more to hit that number before the stream ends. Let's go. 8 more likes to 50. We're at 42. Let's go, baby. There it is, baby. There it is. Julio Rodriguez. You bring up 9 photos of Julio. He doubles to right. JP scores. I told you, baby. Woo! Woo! Hey, I told you, baby. Sometimes you got to throw up 8, 9 photos of a player to give them that good luck. And there it is. JP sliding in safe. And we're tied up at 3. We can win this, baby. Way to come up big. My guy, Julio Rodriguez. And here we go. Cal Raleigh. Back. See ya. Let's go. 5-3 Mariners. I put him on the thumb because I thought he would go yard today. And guess what? He did. Let's fucking go. We're going to win. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. JP Crawford coming up big, Julio coming up big, and then Cal Raleigh. I had a funny feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm going Cal on the thumb, and he needs to go yard, and he fucking explodes with that torpedo bat, baby. 5-3 Mariners, and we're not looking back. Let's go. We might be able to win 3 out of 4 now. Let's fucking go. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, low and away, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh my goodness. 0-1 pitch in there with the strike swinging high and inside, behind the count 0-2 to Randy Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And Abreu is a very good pitcher. So for that to happen, that was pretty crazy. But again, I threw up 9 photos of Julio. The sports gods saw it. And they're like, you know what? You guys got absolutely fucking destroyed yesterday. Let's get it done. Down goes Randy Arozarena. Who gives a fuck? We're talking about JP. We're talking about Julio. And then Cal Raleigh with that big 2-run jack. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Gabriel in the building. What's good? Reflect in the building. You got some good timing. Let's go. Tridents up. Tridents up. Let's go. Tridents up. It's never over with this team, and that's what makes it special. Hell yeah. I haven't brought up 9 photos for a single player all year, but that was what we needed. We needed Julio to come up big, and then we just got that, that money pitch right to Big Dumper, and if it's there with that torpedo back, see ya. Tridents up. You're the man, Cal. You're the man, Julio. And way to get on base, JP. 5-3 Mariners, and we're not losing now. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. Fuck yeah, dude. And again, sometimes you need that springboard win. And remember, early in the year when we played the Astros, remember what happened? We had our, springboard moment. We were down 5-0 in the 8th, and it looked terrible. Like, we weren't going to do anything. And what happened? In the last 2 innings, we scored 7 runs, and we won 7-6. And then after we won the series 2 out of 3 against Houston and Seattle, what did we do? We started going on a huge winning streak, and we swept the Rangers and never looked back. Could we get something like that to happen again? Tridents up. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Huge. Next up for the Astros here in the bottom of the seventh, third baseman Isak Paredes. Batting second on deck, left fielder Jose Altuve. He's been amazing this series. 2 home runs yesterday. I believe he's 3 for 3 today. And batting third, catcher Yanier Diaz. Let's go Mariners. Altuve, 3 for 3. What a day. Way to get on base, JP. Way to be able to knock him in, Julio, with that double. Great base running by JP to get in. And then the next batter, when they're not expecting anything, see ya! Cal Raleigh with a 2-run homer. He is the face of the franchise. Let's go, Mariners. Unbelievable. We got Brash in the game. Great to see him. First pitch from Matt Brash to Paredes. Low and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, Matt. Love seeing Matt Brash play. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Paredes. 1-1 pitch, takes another strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Paredes. Come on, Matt. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Paredes. I love me some Brash. I mean, obviously we know Munoz is, the best guy in the pen. ERA of still 0. But I would say Brash is my favorite bullpen guy. I think that Gabe Spire, I like right behind him, and then Legomina after him. So I'll go Brash. Obviously if we're going in the order, Munoz 1, and then Brash 2, Gabe Spire 3, and then Legomina 4. But other than that, those are the only 4 that I trust. Pitch fouled off. Low and at the knees. Count now is full for Matt Brash. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on to Isak Paredes. Come on, Brash. Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Another pitch fouled off. Count remains 3-2. A 3-er and a 2-er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Every dollar counts. Thank you so much. I took Paisley to get her nails trimmed and dremeled, and I did a self-wash. And when I do that once a month, it costs about $40. She got sick in the car, and that was not ideal. But again, I took her to Petco after, got a huge bacon bone for her, and I got her a little pup ice cream, because I love her to death, and she's doing much better now. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3 Mariners, 3-2 pitch in play, and Paredes grounds out to third. Williamson throw to first. Demo's there. Bang! 1 away. Next up, 3 for 3, left fielder Jose Altuve. There really is no in between. It's either lights out like yesterday and today, 2 home runs yesterday, 3 for 3 today, or maybe tomorrow he'll go 0 for 5. There typically isn't a whole lot of games where you're going to see him go, 1 for 5. Every once in a while you'll see him go 2 for 4, 2 for 5, but it's either lights out or lights off. And hopefully he doesn't go 4 for 4 here. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Altuve. Come on, Brash. We haven't seen him in quite a few games. I love him. One pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Mariners with a huge comeback, and we have a reputation of coming back against this team when things look bleak, when things look bad. And obviously we knew we weren't going to come back yesterday. That fucking shit was over, by the 5th inning. Again, Kirby was bad, Bazardo was bad, Jesse Hahn was bad. It's like they kind of threw the white flag. But I knew that if Emerson Hancock gave up 3 runs or less, that we would have a chance. And that's exactly what he did. Altuve grounds out to JP, throw to first, 2 away. There we go. Nice job, Demo. Nice job, JP. Next up for the Stros, catcher 0 for 2 with a K, Yanier Diaz. Let's make it 0 for 3. Let's suffocate the shit out of them here. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We could have really used Julio yesterday, but glad that he's in the lineup. The back tightness went away. He had that in BP batting practice yesterday, and then Brian Wu got hit on the knee with an arid foul ball, right? And had some bruising and whatnot, but doesn't look like it's going to affect his start tomorrow, thank God, because we're going to need the all-star Wu on the mound tomorrow. Pitch is low and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Brash to Diaz, same location. Big swing and a miss. Behind the count now 0-2 on back-to-back swings by Diaz. 0-2 pitch, high and away with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Diaz. 1-2 pitch, low and away with that slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Brash on the mound and Diaz in the box. Let's go, Brash. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Brash. To Yanier Diaz. Come on, Matt. I think we're at 25 on the dono, 75 to go. And Brash with a walk. Not ideally what you want to see from a guy, but again, remember, he is coming off Tommy John. They're not using him every day. I mean, he's pitching every 5 to 7 days, and again, hopefully his arm will get stronger and stronger as the season goes on, and hopefully we can get out of the inning here with a little slow dribbler for a force out at second. Let's go. Come on, Matt. Next up for the Astros, 0 for 2 with an RBI, first baseman Christian Walker. Three more likes to hit the goal. We can get that. We're in the 7th inning. Especially all the people that bet on this game, or, bandwagon or fair weather fans of either team, trying to check in and see what's going on. Man, thank God for JP, Julio, and Cal. That's what makes the Mariners dangerous. Again, as long as we're within a couple runs, we are one of the best teams in MLB, top 3 in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and again, we've proven it over and over again that we can get it done. First pitch from Brash to Walker, high and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, absolutely. And that happened to us in 2023 and 2024, right? Where we're missing the playoffs, by the wild card by like a game or 2. It's brutal. So it shows you, you have to try to, win every single fucking matchup, And again, sometimes you're going to wave the white flag like we did yesterday, and the game was already over in the 5th inning, right? And we understand that sometimes we're going to get our ass kicked, but this team is built different. It's the best team we've had since 2001, the best team that we've had in 24 years. And if there was a team that would win the AL West, it should be us. No disrespect to the Stros or the Rangers or the Angels or the Athletics, but we have the best team top to bottom, and we're beat up. We're injured. Once we get some of our guys back and then they start playing well, Kirby, Gilbert, Victor Robles down the road, Luke Raley, Bliss, and maybe, I don't know if we're going to call up, Cole Young, Harry Ford, or Tyler Locklear, but I hope so. Mitch Garver, Miles Mastroboni, and Donovan Solano. I'm not sure if those guys even really deserve to be on the team, but, it is what it is. All right, we get out of the inning. Nice job by Brash. Let's go to the top of the 8th with a 2-run lead. Hell yeah. Let me know anything you want to do photo-wise, and I got you. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, Dylan Moore. Batting second, the hero to start off the game, right fielder Leody Taveras, 2 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a solo jack, just like he did in that White Sox series, the rubber match. If he didn't homer late in that matchup, we would have lost the series to Chicago. So Leody now has 2 homers for the season since coming over from the Rangers, and he's not done yet. Keep it going. And batting third, another guy that you wouldn't expect to hit a homer, Miles Mastrobuoni, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball. And that definitely swung a little bit of momentum for us to eventually lead us to having that moment with JP, Julio knocking him in. And then the next batter, they tried to throw right down the middle and get ahead of the count on Cal. That's a no-no. And Cal with that torpedo bat said, see ya. And now we have a 5-3 lead with only 2 innings to go. We're not losing. And again, we win this game, we'll have a very good chance to win tomorrow. And then if we win with Brian Wu, again, and we go up 2-1, if Castillo pitches well like he has most of the time, we will have a chance to lose the first and win 3 consecutive. And that would be amazing, considering that we got stomped 9-2 in game 1. If we were able to win this game, able to win with Wu, and maybe we'll have to have some kind of dramatic comeback with La Piedra on Sunday. But again, 3 runs or less out of any pitcher, even including Hancock. As long as they do that, the bats need to do their job. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, we can get it done. And what a clutch player Cal Raleigh and Julio are, especially in May. Let's go. Cal Raleigh pacing for 55 home runs. How wild is that? Hell yeah, man. Good luck charm, man. Hell, I had to throw up 9 photos of Julio to have that extra good luck. I've never done that. Usually it'll be like capping out at maybe 5 photos. If I really want to give him the good luck charm, throw the trident up on the screen, throw the chain up, the Griffey bobble. But I mean, that was like make or break. Like if Julio doesn't do that, we lose. And luckily he was able to get JP home, and then we got Cal up, and now things are looking pretty nice with 2 innings to go. Takes a strike, swinging there. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Abreu to Moore. Yeah, I mean, I follow the whole entire league. We got the Tigers, the Mariners, and the Yankees are the top dogs in the American League. And then in the National League, they got the Mets, right? You got the Phillies, you got the Cubs. The Cardinals have gotten hot, but the Cubs are better. And then you got the Dodgers, Padres, and the Giants. So the National League is much better than the American League. But with that being said, the Tigers, Yankees, and Mariners, when they're on, they can take on anybody in the National League. So we'll find out, how the season goes moving forward. And down goes Demo, 1 away. Next up is Leody Taveras. Let's go, Leody. First pitch from Abreu to Leody Taveras. High and away with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Yeah, I'm not going to do 9 picks per player. I don't even have 9 picks for each player. I have a bunch of HD 4K photos. It only allows me to store 100, per stream. And then I have many, many files on my computer where I have hundreds and hundreds. But I have for like every team, not just the Mariners, obviously, because I have a lot of prepping that I have to do. But it worked. It was our good luck charm. In play on the 1-0 pitch, and Leody with a nice single to center. And I like seeing guys come over and produce for the Mariners. You got to remember, Leody was a guy that was written off by the Rangers. He was their 9-hole hitter. They didn't like him very much, but sometimes someone else's garbage can turn into someone else's treasure. And he's been pretty fucking good. Not as good as Victor Robles was when we brought him in, but he's starting to make an impact for us in right field. And that's the perfect player to have, in right, as we're waiting for Victor to be healthy. Oh, wow. How did he get picked off? Leody, how are you going to get picked off at first? My goodness, you got to have better base awareness. Next up is Miles Mastrobuoni. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Abreu to Mastroboni. You know, you got to think, because I got to not only do the play-by-play, I got to do the color, I got to, vibe in the chat, and I got to be able to watch the game and like 3 other screens. It's not easy. And I got to produce the show on the fly. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes from Abreu to Mastroboni. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Miles Mastroboni. Come on, Miles. You started to give us a little Uncle Mo with that momentum. Keep it going, baby. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Seattle. Yeah, 2 bad base running issues. Cal coming home, and then obviously Leote getting picked off there. But at least we have a 2-run lead. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to fuck up sometimes. But at the end of the day, coming back and winning this game is big. Next up is third baseman Ben Williamson, who's definitely cooled off in the last 2 weeks. We need him to heat back up. Come on, Big Ben. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more than just the Tigers, the Yankees and the Mariners. There's going to be someone else, that will get hot, whether Boston ends up, getting hot and being the number 2 team behind the Yankees, or maybe the Astros get hot and they're the number 2 team, or, they get closer to Seattle, or there might be another team, like the Twins, that might, they had that nice little win streak, 10 plus games in a row that they won. But, what about consistency? Can Minnesota keep up the consistency, to get up there? And normally the Guardians are typically a pretty good team, but Tigers have definitely shined everyone, in that particular division and the American League. So, but I mean, if Seattle is one of the top 3 teams with the Yankees and Tigers, I'll take that. Top of the 8th, runner at first with 2 outs. Takes a strike looking there in the zone, low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Abreu to Williamson. Come on, B-dubs. Come on, Big Ben. I appreciate that. Anna in the building. What's good? I mean, if you watch other people, when they do a stream, for, baseball, I feel like everyone has their own different swagger and style and presentation and thumbnail and look, but if we're really looking at, who puts in the amount of work, that we do here on the NWSF, like how many button clicks. Some people, they just hit start stream and that's all it is. They're not bringing up photos. They might be calling the game nonchalantly. We want to try to make sure that we're giving really good stats and analytics throughout the broadcast, and shining not just on the Mariners but also on the visiting team as well. It takes a lot of fucking energy and effort to do what we do here on the NWSF, and I'm glad that you recognize that. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Seattle, runner at first with 2 outs. Abreu on the mound, Big Ben in the box. Pitches high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. But I feel like you get more out of this broadcast than any other baseball broadcast. And it's crazy to think, I started doing reaction videos for the NFL, college football, and other sports, and then eventually did live play-by-play for like NFL. And then now we have kind of turned ourselves into a baseball channel, not only because we do all sports, but we are a Mariner channel, a baseball channel. We do wrestling for WWE. We still do NFL and college football for, the NFL and the Oregon Ducks. But it feels good, to be able to have the hard work pay off. And down goes Big Ben, but we still have a 2-run lead, so I don't think anyone's going to be mad about that. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 8th. Next up for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th, 0 for 3, DHing Victor Caratini. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a K, center fielder Jake Myers. And batting third, 2 for 3, right fielder Cam Smith. Let's go Mariners. Trident's up. Yeah, Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't think, I talk about it on the channel, but, I don't think people realize like how much time and energy that I put in. I mean, again, I walk 5 miles a day with my pup, but when I'm not, taking 3 walks a day, morning, afternoon, and night, and spending time with my pup, all I do is read and watch film for, not just the Mariners, but for like all of the teams. I got to be an expert, not just on Seattle, but for everyone in MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL, college football. I got to keep up on what's going on in WWE and AEW. I got to keep up what's going on in NASCAR. So it's really a lot of work, because again, if you're a host and you don't know what you're talking about, you'll easily, get called out. And again, that's not going to ever happen here. I definitely put in too much time, energy, passion, and effort on this channel. And, my goal, a few weeks back was to hopefully get this channel to a point where every Mariner game, we have 1,000 people or more as like kind of a stepping stone. And then once we can get to 1,000 views on every stream, then we can, try to go for like the next goal where we can try to hit, 1,500 on every stream or more. And then once we start doing that, then maybe we can go 2,000 and then just slowly but surely progress. And once you start climbing the ladder like that, then you'll get more views, more subs, more donos, more shares, and we can grow the NWSF family. And again, I'm going to be doing basketball, baseball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling. I'm going to be doing it all. And but primarily we're going to focus on NFL, right? College football and the Oregon Ducks, WWE, and obviously when it's baseball season, the Seattle Mariners. Matt in the building. What's good? Let's get to that 50 like number. We're only 2 away. Let's get there, baby. Yeah, but teams can come back being down by 2. Again, the Portland Trailblazers were down 2 games to the 76ers and Dr. J, and Bill Walton, put his foot down and they won 4 straight. So yes, it does look like the Pacers are going to win, but neither team has a chance against the Thunder. If the Knicks played the Thunder, maybe it goes in 6. If the Thunder play the Pacers, that shit might be over in 5. Like, not to say that they don't have any good players over there like Halliburton, but there's no team that matches up to the Thunder. And again, Thunder Pacers is a disgusting finals. Like, what happened to that league? Like the Knicks and the Pacers. I mean, if this was back when like Patrick Ewing and Reggie Miller are playing, cool, but it's not that era anymore, And then you got the Thunder with SGA and you got Anthony Edwards. That's kind of sexy, but the East is kind of disgusting, even though that is a good rivalry. We got Vargas in the game. Little dribbler there, 1 away. Next up is Jake Myers. Down goes Caratini with that dribbler. First pitch to Jake Myers. Low or high and inside with the strike looking. Should have been called ball. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away by Jake Myers. Fouled off. Vargas on the mound. Myers in the box. Don't fuck this up, Vargas. Yeah, Jeremy Cowell's pacing for 55. That was, 55 home runs in play. And Myers flies out to Julio, 2 away. But he's pacing for like 100 runs, 55 homers, and like 120 ribbies. Now, we don't really know if he'll get there, but it's just really cool to be able to think that we have our own Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge on the Mariners. And it's Cal Raleigh, even though people thought maybe one day that was going to be Julio Rodriguez. But, we have to have that, Jordan Pippen combination. And to have Julio and Cal, that's exciting, And again, we're going to be good for quite some time. In the next 15 or 20 years, we're going to see the best version of the Seattle Mariners in their team history. Remember, we've only had like 4 or 5 good seasons in 40. 95, 97, 2001, 2022, and this year. Smith, and he gets a nice little single there to left with 2 outs. Nice little base knock by Cam Smith. Next up is second baseman Mauricio Dubon. But again, 2022 was like kind of the first year when Cal, ended up hitting that homer off the Athletics and got us in the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. If we count from 2022 to 2042, I guarantee we're going to have probably like at least 10 playoff appearances and hopefully we'll have at least a couple World Series opportunities. But we might have a chance. Oh, in play, and Dubon singles to right, Smith to second. Don't fuck this up, Vargas. I don't trust you one bit. Runners now at first and second with 2 outs, but we should have, you would think, in 20 years, 10 to 15 playoff appearances, hopefully 1 or 2 World Series appearances. And if we end up losing the first time that we go, hopefully we win the second time around. But again, we're the only team in the MLB that's never even made a World Series. So I definitely think that we'll check that box off sooner than later. And hell, it could even be this year. I mean, if the biggest competition is the Yankees and Tigers, I don't fear them, Bottom of the 8th, Vargas on the mound. Unreliable. I don't trust him one bit, but hopefully he can find a way to get out of this right here. Do not fucking give up a home run like you did to Aaron Judge when we ended up losing that game, right? Spire came in and gave up a homer to Goldschmidt in that game number 3, the rubber match. And then what does Vargas do? Gives the first home run in the series to Aaron Judge late, and we lost. I cannot have that happen after we had JP, Julio, and Cal do what they did. First pitch in there to Jeremy Pena, low and in the zone, 1-0 count. There we go. Captain, you're doing a great job. I mean, even though I don't have a lead mod, you're pretty much the lead mod, And again, I appreciate the hard work and the support, not only with the donos, but, by putting in the work. Because I'm going to need a right-hand man, I need to have that individual to help me out. So I appreciate it very much. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Seattle. Vargas on the mound, Pena in the box. Yeah, I mean, sometimes shit is unfortunate, Matt. Sometimes I give my blood, sweat, and tears, and I feel I do one of the, I feel like I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. And there's been streams where I've had 0, where I feel that I've deserved, to have at least somebody, support me and show love, considering this is my full-time job and I do need to pay bills and take care of my pup, but sometimes that shit happens. And, it hasn't happened, too much recently, thank God, but again, sometimes, you just got to put your head down and keep grinding, and, hopefully if you continue to work hard, then, the right people will notice. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Seattle. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch fouled off by Pena. 1 ball and 1 strike. We need 2 more strikes to get out of this inning. But, but again, if you're having issues with that job, you need to start looking for a different one. And I know you already have been talking about that. So, and again, if it's one of your first jobs and you're in your early 20s, the way that the world is now compared to what it was when I was working and whatnot, work ethic is something that, not everyone has, and again, everyone is built a little bit different. Like for me, I started my first job at fucking 12 because I wanted to buy my own school clothes for Massimo, Red Sand, and Nike t-shirts, and again, everyone's journey is a little bit different. But again, if you're kind of a late bloomer to the workforce, maybe you need to find something different. And we get out of the inning there. See ya, Jeremy Pena. Vargas got me a little shaky there, but again, he didn't give up the big home run. And now we're going to the top of the 9th, and we're looking for some more insurance, and I'm not talking Geico. Next up for the Mariners, leading off, 2 for 4 with a run and a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher Mitch Garver. Catcher/DH. And batting third, 1 for 4 with a run, RBI, and a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go Mariners. Tridents up. Yeah, but you also have to realize too, not everyone checks up on other people. Like I don't have anybody ever fucking checking up on me, but that's not their role to do it. Everyone is built a little bit different, but I definitely check up on people. But again, it's just like, it's based on kind of like who you are. Most people, are so busy in their own worlds that they're just thinking about themselves. And sometimes they're not, intentionally trying to be like a selfish person, but everyone has got so much stuff going on with their, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, cats, dogs, family, friendship, that sometimes, people, whether it's intentional or unintentionally, they don't really reach out, and it doesn't hurt my feelings that people don't reach out to see that if I'm good or not. Again, it's just not their role. I feel like different people are brought into this world for different roles, and some people have more empathy and sympathy for others, and it's not everyone's role to be that person to check up on other people and genuinely care. And obviously the people that do get checked up on by someone, they definitely appreciate it. But again, it's unfortunate that sometimes that happens. But again, if you are having issues, like that, with mental health and the workforce and everything that's going on there, maybe it's time to find a different job. Get another job first before you quit this one, so that way you can have a steady income still coming in. But it feels like maybe this job is run its course for you. Hater now in the box here. First pitch to Garver after we got that pop out there from JP, one away. Takes a strike looking. Behind in the count now 0-2 from Hater to Garver. Come on, Garv. I mean, ultimately, you have to make your own happiness, 0-2 pitch in play, and Garver lines out to center, 2 away. And again, for me, like my life changed when I got Paisley, but not only that, I changed, my party habits, my drinking habits, my eating habits, and I don't get depressed or have anxiety anymore. Like I've been really, really good. But again, if I wasn't willing to walk 5 miles a day, and change my diet, not eat fast food, not really drink soda, and eat healthy and really, dedicate my life to Paisley and this channel, again, if Paisley was not in my life, I wouldn't be in the mental headspace that I'm in now. Like she definitely has made a huge difference, in my life. And I know not everyone's got a cat or a dog or a kitten or a puppy to lean on. But for a lot of us, it really does help. Especially when you crave and need that love. And if you've had some bad relationships where you've got burnt in the past, sometimes all you need is to have someone give you a hug or a kiss or, love. And, whether that be from a cat or a dog or a puppy or a kitten or a person, and that's facts. You got to be able to create your own destiny and make your own happiness, Top of the ninth, 5-3 Seattle. Hater on the mound, Julio in the box. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 5-3 Seattle lead. Let's go Julio. Cal up next on deck. Let's go J-Rod. One-two pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hater to Julio. Yeah, but everyone's journey is different. The main thing is not comparing yourself to anybody else. Everyone has a special talent. You just have to find your own lane. And once you find your lane and something that you're good at, and then you just continue to do that. But you have to recognize what that talent is. Most people, are afraid of goals and dreams because they're afraid of failure, but again, life is short and you want to make sure that you have no regrets, when it's all said and done. Facts. And down goes Julio. Now we go to the bottom of the ninth and let's see what we have here for the Astros. Next up for the Astros, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a 2-run jack, Isaac Paredes. Batting second, 3 for 4, left fielder Jose Altuve. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K, Yanier Diaz. Trident's up. Let's go Mariners. All right, time for Andres Munoz, the number one closer in baseball with an ERA of 0 with 50 games in. That's insane. Like, how many guys do you know that could go a third of the season and their ERA is still fucking 0? You're looking at them. All-star this year with Cal Raleigh. Facts. We're going to have a couple all-stars. Dan Wilson, the manager, Andres Munoz, Cal Raleigh. Hopefully Julio, if the bats keeps staying hot. And definitely Brian Wu, who's going to be on the mound tomorrow. All-star, baby. It's the year of the Woo. Can you imagine if we would have traded Woo away? What kind of disaster that would have been? Let's go, baby. Can't wait for tomorrow. We're winning tomorrow. Bet. It's the year of the Woo. All right, baby. Andres Munoz. Let's fucking shut this shit down. Bottom of the ninth with a 2-run lead. Let's go, Munoz. Dan Wilson, Brian Wu, Cal Raleigh, Andres Munoz, maybe even Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. Well, Julio's not going to come up anymore because obviously this is the bottom of the ninth and we're already up. So with the Astros down by 2, unless they, tie the game up, we're not going to see Julio again. So the game should be over here in just a couple minutes. First pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count from Munoz to Paredes. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike swinging. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count 0-2. See if Munoz can mow him down in 9 pitches. Let's go. In play on the 0-2 pitch. And Paredes lines out to Julio, 1 away. Next up for the Astros, 3 for 4. 2 homers yesterday, 3 base knocks today. Jose Altuve. Go Munoz. First pitch fouled off, high and inside, 0-1 count. And you can always tell when Munoz is on or when he's not. When he's off, he usually walks or gives up hits in his first 2 or 3 batters. And then you're like, oh God, it's like no outs and runners at first and second. And then he settles in most of the time and finds a way. But, typically when he's on, he's throwing strike here, strike there, or he's getting them to bait. And, he gets them in 0-2 counts, which you're seeing in the first 2 batters. And that's when you're getting the top tier Andres Munoz when they're fouling off the first 2 pitches. And all he's got to do is smoke them on that last pitch or the 4th pitch. And then we're going to have 2 away. Bottom of the ninth, 5-3 Mariners. Munoz on the mound, Altuve in the box. Let's go, baby. In play, and there we go. Altuve flies out to center. Julio staying busy, 2 away. All right, 1 more out. And we're going to have an amazing comeback here, just like we had when we were in Seattle when we were down 5-0 to the Astros in the 8th, and we scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings and won 7-6. Maybe not as dramatic as that, but definitely memorable, to say the least. potentially the last batter here for the Stros with 2 outs. Yanier Diaz, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K. In play and flied out to second base, and that is it. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. Comeback is real. Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, Houston Astros 3. Woo! And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. What a comeback. And that shit never would have happened if we didn't have JP, Julio knocking him in, and then that big 2-run blast by Cal Raleigh. But let's give some love to credit to guys like Leody Taveras and Miles Mastroboni from homering early in the game. If that didn't happen, we don't win this game. So shout out to those guys. And again, the best closer in baseball, an all-star to say the least, Andres Munoz helping us get the win. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. You know we're not losing tomorrow. Let's go, Mariners. Tridents up, baby. Let's go. Way to get it done. Let's go. Hell yeah. Can't wait for tomorrow's matchup with Brian Wu on the bump. And it's going to be against Framber Valdez. So it's kind of exciting because we know Framber is pretty well-known pitcher. He kind of goes up and down with his ERA and his numbers. Sometimes he's got an above 500 record, sometimes just barely below that. But I definitely like our chances with Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. And then we got La Piedra Luis Castillo obviously on the mound on Sunday, and I've already made all the thumbnails in advance. So we're going to go here tomorrow with Wu and Altuve, and then obviously on Sunday we got Julio and Jose Altuve. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. And again, if we can win tomorrow with Brian Wu, we should have a good chance on Sunday to win in this particular matchup with Luis Castillo on the bump. But what an amazing comeback there by the Seattle Mariners. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared. STL, Captain, Reflect, anything that you want to see photo-wise, Reflect, let me know before I go, as well as Odin Sun as well. This one feels good. And anytime you can end up beating your number one rival, especially when you're down, and then you can come back late and find a way to win the game with JP and Julio, and then Cal Raleigh with that big 2-run blast to give us the win. Words can't express what that feels like, you know, and I can't wait to see what we get tomorrow. Let's go. Tridents up. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, we will be live tomorrow for the Mariners and the Astros with Brian Wu on the bump. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang, Tridents up. Go Mariners.